And that blocked down in front, rebound scores! Evan Oakley, here's Farmer on a breakaway, Farmer scores! Short-handed break, Benzine in on Zevnik. Oh, what a great left pad save there. Shot deflected, they score! Collins stops short-handed.
You're listening to Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing on the Wildcats Broadcast Network.
Good evening to you from the Knight Tech Center in North Richland Hills, where we are just about set for Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing. Hello and welcome to the broadcast. Ben Horner with you, Wildcats fans. Thanks so much for making us a part of your Saturday evening plans here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Well, last night's contest did not go the way the Wildcats were hoping as they opened a crucial two-game set against their rivals, the Lone Star Brahmas. They fell 6-3 after a game that started out with so much promise for the Cats. More on that in a moment, but the 6-3 loss places a absolute premium on claiming points here this evening. Let's recap the standings before we go any further, because it's the standings that are really providing the backdrop to this weekend set. Topeka, who is idle this weekend, has 63 points. They are currently in first place in the South Division with a record of 39-3. That is 39-3, not 39-3. Following up in second place are the Brahmas. They are just 6 points back. 27-9-3 are the Brahmas. And then, hot on the heels of Lone Star, are the Wildcats with 54 points, a record of 27-12-0. Of course, the Wildcats have to look over their shoulder a little bit. Corpus Christi in fourth place with 49 points. A 9-point lead has been shrunk down to 5 over the last few games. Wenatchee coming in fifth place right now, 43 points and a record of 18-7. And at the bottom, Rio Grande Valley and Amarillo continue to swap spots in between 6 and 7 as those two teams battle out for the final playoff spot in the South Division this year, with Odessa bringing up the rear with a record of 9-28-6. But all of that is to say that it's a battle for the first two spots in the South Division. Just to remind you, seeds 1 and 2 in the South Division playoffs will get an automatic bye into the division semifinals, the first best-of-5 round. Seeds 3 through 6 will meet in a best-of-3 play-in series the first week of April, and it is so crucial if you want to set yourself up for a championship run that you get that extra weekend of rest, get the bodies healthy, get everyone good to go for the playoff push. The Wildcats and Brahmas and the Roadrunners battling it out to see who will be the top two seeds in the South Division this year. As I mentioned, the Wildcats coming in a record of 27-12-0, the Brahmas 27-9-3, but they are absolutely dominant here at the NITEX Center. They are 21-1-1 in games that they are listed as the home team, but more specifically, factoring out the results at the Blaine, Minnesota Showcase back in September, the Brahmas are 20-0-1 here at the NITEX Center, and a team that is only scoring 2.63 goals per game on the road is averaging almost double that at home. 4.30 goals per game, including 6 last night. As now we'll kind of turn our attention back to that contest. It was one that got started in such grand fashion for the Wildcats. They got up 2-0 in the first 5 minutes and 27 seconds on goals from Jake Townsend and Matt Cook. They were moving the puck quickly. They were establishing the forecheck. They were keeping the play moving in the offensive zone. They were winning battles along the board. And then Alex Carl scored with about 5 minutes remaining in the first. That kind of set the tone for the second period. Lone Star really ramped up the pressure, out shooting the Wildcats 16-4. They dominated the board play. They dominated in the offensive zone. And as a result, a pair of power play opportunities and an even strength goal saw the Brahmas take a 4-2 lead into the third. Nick Farmer would pull one back to make it 4-3, and then Max Reisinger would rip one off the post, but that is as close as the Wildcats would come to tying the game up last night, as Ludwig Larson completed his hat trick at 15-14 of the third, and Pat Egan finished it off with good measure to make it 6-3 just 20 seconds later, as 6-3 was the final. A scoreline that's flattered to deceive somewhat if you're the Brahmas, as that game was quite close until the very end of that one. And we also saw some haymakers being thrown at the end, and as a result of that, we will not see Austin Albrecht tonight or the Wildcats next game on Wednesday against these same Brahmas on the other side of the ice. Pete Kessel will not be featuring tonight after he got involved with Albrecht in a fight in the last 5 minutes. That is an automatic 2-game suspension in the North American Hockey League. So Albrecht just back from a 2-game suspension last night. immediately suspended again. So stepping in for him will be Austin Hinchin. He'll slide in on the left wing, skating with Paul Subri and Evan Oakley, and we're seeing a lot of different line combinations over the last few weeks, and tonight is no exception for the Wildcats. The mainstay is back together, however. It's Tommy Apap centering, Colin Staub on the right, and Austin Boyo on the left. That was a line that had been absolutely unstoppable for the Wildcats for about 2.5 months between the middle of October and the end of December. They'll look to get back to that form here this evening. Elsewhere down the forward lines, Eric Yeager will be back to center after playing right wing last night. He has Lazarus on his right wing and Nikita Litviak on the left. Farmer will center a line with Reisinger on the right wing and Falconer on the left side. And as I mentioned, Austin Hinchin, Paul Subri, and Evan Oakley will be the fourth forward line. No changes on defense to speak of, at least in terms of personnel. Might see some changes in the pairings as the game moves along, but we expect Austin Azanero and Jake Townsend to start things off for the Wildcats, as getting the call in net tonight will be Austin Shaw, 6'4", 205 at Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Shaw has looked to regain his form of the early stages of the season over the last couple of months, and over the last few weeks, it looked like he was getting closer and closer and closer to that, although over the last few games, he has not had his best showing. Last night, he did not play all that well in relief of Zebnik. Couple of goals that he would want back. At the end of the day, Zebnik was the one who got saddled with the loss, as over the last two games, we have seen both Wildcats netminders in each of those two contests. And I talked with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine before the game, and he told me that he wasn't exactly planning on utilizing a goaltending platoon at all. In fact, he really doesn't like utilizing the platoon unless both goaltenders are running hot. He would be perfectly fine with getting a hot goaltender and riding them as long as they could. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, they are waiting for Austin Shaw or David Zebnik to step up and take on that responsibility and that role. Austin Shaw will look to get it going here this evening. Other things to watch out for tonight. The Wildcats penalty kill has struggled mightily in the month of January. They are just 2 for their last 8 on the PK over the last 3 games, and for the month of January, they are killing at a 68.6% clip, 24 for 35 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill in the month of January, and the Wildcats are hoping that January will end in a different way than December did. Remember, back in December, the Wildcats got off to a great start in that month as they posted wins over Corpus Christi, Rio Grande Valley. They swept Wenatchee on the road before ending it with 3 straight defeats. The Wildcats started off January with 4 straight wins, and after canceling out 2 wins and 2 losses, they are losers of 2 straight entering this contest, hoping to avoid making it 3 straight. And it goes without saying, but we'll say it throughout the night, that this is a crucial series, about as crucial a series as you're going to see this early in the North American Hockey League season, although by that same token, it's not all that early anymore. We're hitting game 40 tonight for both of these teams. We have gone through 2/3 of the regular season here in 2014-15. The Wildcats raced out of the blocks in strong fashion, and over the last month and a half, they've been trying to regain that consistency that we saw at the beginning of the year. Part of the problem has been, it seems like the Wildcats don't have that air of invincibility about them. They don't have that swagger, that cockiness that we saw back in September, back in October, and particularly back in November when the Wildcats won every game but one that month. They knew that even if they went behind, they had a very good chance to go on and win those games, as we have not necessarily seen that over the last few weeks. Let's turn our attention now to the starting lineups. We'll start with the Lone Star Brahmas, the home side tonight, and we'll start on the left wing where it'll be Oscar Andrin for Lone Star, beg your pardon. In 30 games played, Andrin has 12 goals and 16 assists for 28 points, standing at 6'1", 180. Andrin wears number 88 and hails from Stockholm, Sweden. Centering will be a fellow Swede, Ludwig Larsson. It's the Swede line starting for the Brahmas. 5'10", 180 pounds for the hat-trick hero from last night, Larsson. He's committed to Merrimack College in Hockey East in North Andover, Massachusetts. 14 goals and 22 assists for 36 points for Ludwig Larsson, who hails from Sweden as well. Larsson from Malmo, Sweden. On the right wing, it's Sebastian Vidmar. Vidmar out of Malmo, Sweden as well. 6'2", 195. Tied for the league lead in goals. Tied for the league lead in points. 57 on 24 goals and 33 assists for Vidmar in 37 games played for number 22, who's committed to Union. On the blue line, it'll be Alexei Solovyev on the left side. Wearing number 24, Solovyev has 25 points on the year on 6 goals and 19 assists. He stands at 6'1", 200 pounds, and hails from Moscow, Russia. Pairing with him will be another import, Johan Steen, 6'1", 205 pounds, for number 55. Steen, a 96 birth year, has played in 37 games thus far, and his 3 goals and 12 assists for 15 points to his credit through those 37 games. And starting in net tonight is TJ Black. Black wearing number 29 out of Chicago, Illinois, 5'9", 160. Black on the year is 16-5-2 with a 196 goals against and a 916 save percentage. Head coach of the Brahmas is Dan Wildfunk. Jeff Potter is the assistant coach. Now for the starting lineup for your Wichita Falls Wildcats, brought to you by Pelicans Restaurant. Starting on the left wing, it'll be Austin Bolio, number 18, 5'9", 170 pounds. The University of Alabama Huntsville commit is looking to get on a roll here. He's got 34 points on the year on 15 goals and 19 assists in 39 games played. The Coral Springs, Florida native is a 96 birth year. Center will be Tommy Apap, 6'2", 180 pounds, out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. The 96 birth year has played in 37 games for the Wildcats thus far. He's got 25 points on the year on 6 goals and 19 assists. On the right wing will be Colin Staub, the future Air Force Academy Falcon out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, tied for the team lead in points with 39 with Matt Cook and Nick Farmer. He's got 14 goals and 25 assists in 39 games played. He stands at 6'1", 195. On the blue line for the Wildcats, on the left side, it'll be number 20, Austin Azanaro, 6 foot, 185 pounds, out of Spokane Valley, Washington. He's a 96 birth year, playing in game number 4 for the Wildcats after being called up from the Missoula Maulers of the Western States League. He picked up his first career point last night with an assist on Townsend's goal. And pairing with him is the aforementioned Jake Townsend, 6 foot, 180 pounds, out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. 9 goals, 16 assists for 25 points for Mr. Townsend. Career highs in goals and points in 39 games played. And starting in net is Austin Shaw, 16-6-0 with a 2.76 goals against average and a 9.05 save percentage for the future Princeton Tiger out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. He stands at 6'4", 205 pounds, and is looking to get the Wildcats back into the win column. Head coach of the Wildcats is John LaFontaine in his first year. Assistant coach is Chris Saransky in his second season. Those are the starting lineups brought to you by Pelicans Restaurant, located at 2301 Midwestern Parkway, across from Midwestern State University. Pelicans Restaurant offers Texoma, the choicest beef, freshest fish, and the area's best wine list. Next time you're in the Falls, be sure to visit our friends at Pelicans Restaurant for fine dining and a family atmosphere. That'll do it for us here on the pregame show. We'll step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll have puck drop between your Wildcats and the Lone Star Brahmas right here in North Richland Hills. Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing gets underway just after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Evening to you from the NITEC Center in North Richland Hills. It's time for Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing. Hello, welcome to the broadcast. Ben Horner with you, Cats fans. Thanks so much for making us a part of your Saturday evening as the Wildcats look to bounce back in emphatic fashion from last night's 6-3 loss to this Brahmas squad as they look to avoid 3 straight losses for the second time this season. Wildcats wearing their road black sweaters, skating from left to right across your screens. That's Q to P across your keyboard if you're tuning in via the online audio stream on YouTube. Coming back the other way are the Brahmas wearing their white sweaters with the purple shoulder pleats. TJ Black will be the man in the net to our right. Black on the year, 16-5-2 with a 1.96 goals against, averaging a .916 save percentage. He's got 2 shutouts on the year. The Wildcats got to him early last night. 2 goals in the first 8 shots of the game for Wichita Falls in the first 5.5 minutes, but they were unable to continue that pressure and that scoring clip as the Brahmas fought their way back in the second period. Things to watch out for tonight that the Wildcats emphasized after last night's defeat. Watch them to be quicker with the puck, moving it around the offensive zone. Also, watch them to defend the Lone Star breakout a little bit more aggressively, and they're going to be looking to spring plays through the middle of the ice. Tonight's officials, Joshua Greco is the referee tonight. He was the referee last night. The linesmen, Michael Anderson and Michael Hartman, are working the blue lines, calling the icings and whistles. Wildcats have a tall task ahead of them this evening. Lone Star 20-0-1 in this building. The Wildcats will likely need the first goal, although it didn't really help them out last night. One other note about last night, it was the first time the Wildcats had lost when leading after 1 period of play. They had been 12-0-0 heading into it, but instead they stumbled to their first loss. They are now 12-1-0 when leading after 1. It'll be APAP taking the opening faceoff against Ludwig Larson. Bringing them together is Greco, the referee, as we are set to go and the puck is down. We are underway in the first period, brought to you by American Classified. Right away, charging down the ice are the Wildcats in the form of Colin Staub in on the forecheck. Solovyev has some trouble with it. Here's APAP below the goal line. APAP hooked in front. Bolio loading shot, scores! Just 15 seconds in. Austin Bolio gets his 16th of the year. The Wildcats strike first, and they're on the board. It's 1-0. Bolio was delaying into the zone. He trailed on the play and sniped it past the blocker side on TJ Black. It's 1-0 on Bolio's 16th of the year. Good job by APAP on the forecheck below the goal line. He sprung that puck loose and played it to a spot where he knew Bolio was skating towards. So let's see if the Wildcats can build on this here. Playing it through the blue paint. Nobody there for Lone Star as this is Reisinger banking it forward. Here's Farmer. Farmer looks to race this one along. Gains his own at the left side. Turns the corner. Farmer backhander save. Steered wide there by Black. This is Farmer ridden into the half wall here. No penalty upcoming. Floated down the ice as it skitters its way towards the end line. This will be icing here as an arrow is first back to it. 40 seconds into the first period, the Wildcats have a 1-0 lead on Austin Bolio's 16th of the year. First shot of the game got us our first goal of the game. Lincoln, you'll miss it as the Wildcats took the lead just 15 seconds into this first. Offensive zone faceoff up coming to the left of TJ Black here. It'll be Yeager to take the draw. Kosmeski in the shooting hole with Baum, the other defenseman out there. Face off, it's knocked towards the corner. First to it here are the Brahmas. Trying to hold the zone is Kosmeski. He skated down the wall. Lazarus sent it through the blue paint, nobody there. Off the glass, Uchin will let this one be collected by the Wildcats as Yeager swoops back and now looks to start forward. Yeager floats this one towards the cage of TJ Black. Bounces in on him and he'll cover up as the Wildcats are getting a little chippy early on here. Lazarus going to the front of the net. 19 minutes remaining. We played 1 minute even here in the first. Wildcats are leading 1-0 on Austin Bolio's goal. Expect APAP to get an assist. That's point number 26 for him. I'd also expect Staub might get a helper. If he does, that'll be point number 40 on the year for Colin. Same unit stays out there, except the D-change pairing here. It's as an arrow towards the front of the net. Skipping puck here is overskated, and now the Brahmas will look to start it forward. Townsend spikes this one up the ice. Lazarus couldn't reach it here. On a second attempt, Townsend gloves it down at the blue line and plays to the wall. Lazarus rolled off it here. Sanderson spikes it away from him as a bouncing puck is battled for in the near side corner. Lazarus takes it away. Litviak backhander, and it just popped up high and went over the cage. Not sure how that one popped up into the air. Litviak on a short effort here. Litviak once more. Litviak, Townsend loading shot, blocked in front there. Townsend wasn't able to release it high enough. Litviak trying to hold the zone. Jaeger getting involved as well as the Wildcats are in the midst of a change. This is sent back behind the net. Oakley hard in on the forecheck here as this one is worked along, and Carl starts it forward. Egan has this one taken away from him. In his own zone, it's as an arrow down the ice. No icing here, as they say Oakley got a leg to it or something. Either way, we move on. On it here in his own zone is Nick Ford. Ford has some trouble with it here as this is Cook. Moving it quickly along here is Oakley. Good pace to the opening 2 minutes plus. Shot punched away there on the blocker hand. Hinchin on the left wing will send it below the goal line for Subri. Subri lost out on the puck, swooping along to pick it up and move it forward is Hogan Davidson. Davidson banks this one down the ice. Will it go for icing? No, it will not, as Cook swoops back and moved it along for Cam Knight. Knight up the right wing wall, hoping for Oakley. It was too far for him. Delayed offside is wiped out as the Brahmas tag up here. As getting away with a tripping call there was Austin Shaw. Headman pass for Collins. Staub, breakaway, all alone. Staub, shot, save, loose puck there, and it's taken away from the goal line. At the point, this is Apap taking a knock up high. Brahmas springing the other way. This is Larson as Andren to his right. Andren in the face-off circle here, plays towards the middle of the ice. Bolio chips it, not out, towards the net, wide of the cage from the blue line by Steen. This is Colin Staub, who had a breakaway attempt stone just a moment ago. Apap gains his own on a pass from Staub. Apap, backdoor pass through the middle. He was hoping for Staub on the far side, and it was intercepted. 3 minutes played in the first. Wildcats leading 1-0. Great pace to this one here. And the NITEX Center, Ben Horner with you as Staub is back below the goal line, and it's moved along here for Apap. Apap worked it up ahead for Falconer. Has an arrow with them. Has an arrow in the circle. Shot, glove save, rebound. Falconer is tied up, and he couldn't get his stick onto the loose puck. Intercepted. Falconer tries to walk into the zone. He's tied up. On a second attempt, he'll tag up and try to force this one in deep. Unable to do so, he'll move it back to the neutral zone. Farmer has some trouble with it here. He'll protect and play this one in deep. Wildcats in the midst of a change as we start to catch our breath a little bit here. 16:20 remaining in the first. Bolio scored on the first shot of the game 15 seconds in. That has the Wildcats in the lead 1-0. Hard down the wall, partially intercepted, but Uchin plays this one in deep. Farmer takes this one back and gives to Kuzmeski in the corner. Kuzmeski swats back below the goal line to the near side. It comes. Townsend can't slip it along Reisinger. Wick line shot saved there on the right pad by Austin Shaw as the Brahmas get their first good chance. Towards the net and a glove save easily enough. Shaw went to put it back into play, but we got the whistle. 15:58 remaining in the first, and a frenetic pace to this opening 4 or so minutes here. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Bolio opened the scoring just 15 seconds in. Then Colin Staub had a breakaway attempt after Austin Shaw might have gotten away with a tripping call as he was getting back to his own net. Face-off will be to the right of the aforementioned Shaw. Wildcats got a little bit lucky. Hammered towards the net, saved and covered by Shaw. That was Sanderson. He didn't get all of that one from the blue line. The Wildcats were moving on that face-off when the puck was dropped, but nothing whistled, so we'll do another offensive zone draw coming to the right of Shaw. First goal, typically very important, even more so with these two teams. Wildcats 22-0. Look out here. Held in, toe drag, and it's forced wide, hooked towards the middle, and it's sent over the bar by Egan. Bouncing puck corralled by Litviak. This is Shane Kuzmeski. Worked it for Litviak. Dangerous pass, but no harm, no foul, as Litviak walks it in onside. Litviak towards the front of the net, steered wide there by TJ Black, as the Brahmas are starting to warm to the task a little bit in the offensive zone. Wildcats have it below the goal line of TJ Black, however, as Cam Knight and Matt Cook are the D-man out there. Look for the Wildcats to kick it free and try to move it to the point whenever possible in situations like this. Still loose below the goal line. In the corner it goes. Litviak tied up there by Carroll. Still the scrum ensues. Jaeger back down the wall. It's Lazarus. Plays towards the middle there, and it's spiked away only as far as Matt Cook. His slap shot saved, hit Black in front. Rebound is stashed off the outside of the cage. Lazarus towards the net there from below the goal line, and Black was able to seal this one off. Chopped into the neutral zone. Walrab can't win the race there past Matt Cook. Cook chips this one softly ahead Skating onto it, here's Eric Carreras. Carreras with the man in the middle, that's Davidson. Carreras all the way around the zone, up to the blue line. Flubbing it there was Steen, as this is Hinchin looking to start forward. At the red line, he'll move it along for Oakley. Oakley can't cut back towards the middle of the ice. He'll get the puck back, however. Looks to battle there and plays it along for Subri. Banked off the wall. Ford will take this one and slam it into the neutral zone here. Carreras was able to chip past Azanaro. First to it here is Oakley in his own zone. Townsend has some trouble with it. Good recovery here as he was able to force it up to Hinchin, who was able to get this over the red line and steer it in deep. Good solid play there by Austin Hinchin. Oh, Paul Subri is going to get away with a penalty here and draw one for the Wildcats. Touching up are the Brahmas. Steen went down hard from behind. That was an awkward collision there. And as a result, coming in to stick up for his man, I believe was Ford. And we're going to get the retaliation call. Check that, it's Solovyev on the roughing minor in retaliation. So with 14-11 in the first, the Wildcats will head to the first power play of the game. So Subri gets away with one, and then Greco gets the retaliation. As the Brahmas crowd not happy about that one, but the Wildcats on the power play first time this evening for either side. 14-11 remaining in the first, Cats leading 1-0. They were 0 for 2 on the man advantage last night, but they still are the top-ranked power play in the league at 27% even. Here is Cam Knight, holds on it, tries to go to Townsend, swatted away. Townsend gloves it down and serves it towards the corner. Skip down low, Bolio takes it there, looks to play it to Townsend, middle of the blue line. Townsend shot deflected there, rebound is loose, and Apap dumped down to the ice, couldn't get it to a teammate. Bolio comes along, gives it up to Townsend at the right point. Townsend holds, plays it towards Apap in the corner. Apap back up the wall for Townsend. Here's Townsend towards the net, off a body in front. Hammered around the wall here, Bolio not able to hold in, and the Cats have to chase back to their own zone. Knight moved it quickly along for Townsend, who skates it in and gains the zone. Townsend protects, gives to Staub, who looks to play it to the wall. Hansen digs for it here, as does Staub, as Bolio has it on his blade in the near side half wall. Bolio spinning away there, puck left in the near side corner, as still they dig for it. 44 seconds elapsed on the Wildcats power play. 13:20 remaining in the first, as still they scrum for it. It's under the body of Staub and cleared and just escapes the blue line as Knight is back to grab it. Wildcats look to start up a change in their power play unit. Staub looks to swoop this one in. Unable to hold his own was Cam Knight. He'll chip it into some space as Reisinger hustles along to grab it in front of the forechecking Hogan Davidson. Townsend in his own zone, waits for something to develop. He'll move it up the ice for Reisinger. Reisinger dipsy doodles and gives to Farmer. Farmer loading shot off a stick and goes up and out of play. 12:52 remaining in the first period. The Wildcats are leading 1-0. They're on the power play for the next 42 seconds. As the faceoff will be to the left of TJ Black. Brahmas penalty kill on the year, fourth in the league. 87.4%, 153 for 175 on the penalty kill are the Brahmas. Hammered around the boards and down the ice it goes as Cook will go back to his own zone to corral. Cook will protect this one from the forechecking Walrab, moves it along for a teammate. That's Farmer, who got it back along for Shane Kosmeski. Kosmeski gets to the offensive blue line, drop pass there, hoping for Farmer. It was a blind pass, read well by Walrab and sent back to the neutral zone in the last 15 of the Wildcats power play. Kosmeski's pass off the skates of Yeager. Yeager back into his own zone. Here is Matt Cook now, slowly up the ice. He'll get to the defensive blue line, now swoops off to the near side, and this is an onside play here as Farmer tries to hold the zone. Unable to do so now on a second attempt they are, but the Brahmas will spike this the length of the ice. We're back to 5-on-5. Hammered off the high glass there by Matt Cook. That could have been and should have been too many men against the Wildcats. They get away with another one. Here's Evan Oakley. Puts on the brakes in the circle. Knocked away towards the corner there on a good stick play by Giles. Dug free here by the Wildcats as Litviak looks to play it towards the net. He'll hold on to it. Here's Azanaro. Forced back into the neutral zone. Getting mugged off it as Andren looks to start it forward. Andren poked away from him there by Townsend as Townsend will take this to the wall. Falconer intercepts this one here. This is picked up by Oakley. He'll back in, leaves it for Litviak. Litviak takes it wide here, around one man, around another. Litviak puts on the brakes in the corners, hooked it for Oakley there, and he just wasn't able to reach that loose puck. Here is Oscar Andren, gaining forward and gaining the blue line. Got past Azanaro and gets this one along. He was hoping for Vidmar, rolled all the way along for Giles, shot saved and held by Austin Shaw. And the first bit of action for Austin in the last 3 or 4 minutes. 11:18 remaining in the first. The Wildcats are leading 1-0. Austin Bolio with the goal, 15 seconds in. The assist going to Tommy Apap. as the Wildcats had the first power play goal or first power play opportunity of the game fall by the wayside as the Brahmas continue their strong efforts on the penalty kill, both overall and at home. They are now 91 for 102 on the PK here in the NITEX Center. Glove down in the neutral zone as APAP walks it forward. APAP holding towards the middle. Bolio stashed it just wide of the cage. Puck loose below the goal line. You can see there's a different hunger and intensity for this puck. Rolled in front. Stop. Loading shot. Blocked in front. Didn't get all the way through. It might have been punched away on the blocker. The puck was sitting on edge and Staub wasn't able to get the shot off that he wanted. That's the second time Staub has been turned away. He is up for it here this evening. Trying to dig it loose was APAP. Hooked down low into the corner for Staub. Here's Staub centering in front and almost put into his own net there by Uchin. Bomb played around. Staub in the right wing corner. Tries to chip towards the front of the net. Can't reach this loose puck. And it's hacked at on the backhand and clears into the neutral zone. Inballing through a couple of bodies here. Once more, the Brahmas will get this into the neutral zone. Kozmeski offside play here as Staub just couldn't get back to the blue line. 10:24 remaining in the first, and as the Wildcats are leading 1-0, that's the first time we've called Shane Kozmeski's name in the last few minutes. And Kozmeski, a guy who's got an offensive skill set from the blue line, 13 points on the year on 4 goals and 9 assists, but he's had no points in his last 13 games. Check that, just 2 points in his last 15 games after posting a 5-point weekend against the Ice Rays back on December the 5th and 6th. Play on here as we tick down towards 10 minutes remaining in the first period here at the NITEX Center. Wildcats holding a 1-0 lead on Bolio's goal. No icing here as Knight will swoop back to get this one. He left it there as Egan put him under some pressure. Reisinger swept it along. Falconer digs it loose at the left wing wall. Stashed forward. Farmer coming along to finish off the clear. Not able to do so on a second attempt. Cook will get this in his own zone and lumber forward. Cook ships it softly off to the left wing wall for Farmer. Here's Farmer. Loading shot, save, steered away. That was a pad pass attempt as Reisinger was skating in unmarked at the right wing. Steered wide by Black. Karam came right to the front of the net and he covers and will get the whistle. 9:46 remaining in the first period. Evan Oakley having some issue with the edge on his left skate as he stumbled coming off the bench, and now he'll go back to the bench. We're in immediate timeout here. Wildcats are leading 1-0. They're out shooting Lone Star 11-3 according to the counter here on the big board at the NITEX Center in North Richland Hills. 9-2 is the count in point streak, at least for the time being. Wildcats, though, know that the job is not even close to done. They were up 2-0 in bossing the game last night before a goal late on in the first period gave the Brahmas some life that they carried into the second period. With you Wildcats fans, thanks for making us a part of your Saturday evening. We remind you that first goal of the game that happened at just 15 seconds of the first period, Austin Bolio from Tommy Apap, was brought to you by Whataburger. First goal of the game is always brought to you by Whataburger. A Texas tradition. Faceoff will come to the right of Black. 9:46 remaining in the first as the Wildcats still hold that 1-0 lead. And it's good to see Austin Bolio get on the board. He had 3 points last weekend, a goal and 2 assists in that win on Thursday against the Ice Rays, 5-4 at the KYC. But overall, Bolio has been hard up for points over the last few weeks. Points in 1 of his last 8 games, make that 2 of his last 9, and the Wildcats would love for him to get on a roll. No coincidence, though, that the line of Apap, Bolio, and Staub, with the band back together, made that count immediately. Face off to the right of Black. One back to the point nicely by Yeager. Knight settles this one down, swept it around the boards. Yeager below the goal line accepts it here. Looks to go up the wall, forced off it now towards the corner. He'll protect. To his side, scrum ensues. Loose puck squirts loose behind the cage of Black. Picked up here by Giles as he'll play this off the glass. Knight held it in nicely there. Tangled up behind the play was Lazarus and a Brahmas skater. Instead, it's walked forward by Carroll. Carroll chips it into the corner and goes in after it there to duel with Cam Knight. Swept along to the far side half wall. Wahlberg, or rather Walrab, plays this towards the corner, played towards the middle of the ice, spiked away there by Lazarus. Nice read on that one as he spiked it away from Giles. No icing here as Black came all the way out to play that one as this is picked up by Subri in the neutral zone. He'll wait for his teammates to get on side. Now his shot goes high and gets the glass. Whitfield on this near side half wall takes a shot up high, plays on as trying to dig it loose is Subri. Getting involved in there is Townsend. Now it's as an arrow towards the net, saved and knocked aside to the far side wall. Reisinger below the goal line there. Litviak was tied up. It's fed along to the near side once more. Subri stepped in front of his man, but can't dig it loose ahead of Hogan Davidson. Davidson, a good hard crunch finish on him by Reisinger, as this is as an arrow back in his own zone, looking to collect this puck. Had a little stop and start moment there in his corner, but he'll work it along to his deep partner as this is Townsend up the ice for Subri. Nice protect there by Subri. Did Reisinger get a stick to it here? No, he did not, so icing will be called. Subri kind of in a tight spot there. He needed to get rid of that one, and he needed to get rid of that one quick. Otherwise, he might have had his pocket picked, and it could have been a broken chance the other way. 8:22 remaining in the first period. Wildcats are leading 1-0, and as I look, Coach Saransky is sending Evan Oakley's left skate to be sharpened. Oh, an equipment malfunction being handled. Shot, glove save there from the stick of Vidmar. Austin Shaw saw it all the way, and the league's leading goal scorer wasn't able to put that one by Shaw. He was lined up in the shooting hole exactly how the Wildcats wanted, and the fringe benefit of that is the Cats will get to change units at the very least. Round in the first period, which is 8:19 away from now. We'll hear from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. Take a look at what else is going on around the North American Hockey League. Vidmar again sets up in the shooting hole. Larson can't win this one back to him, however, as on the near side corner, the Wildcats will try to work this one loose. Apep hacks that one free into the neutral zone. Solovyev rims this one hard around the boards. Townsend near side wall. Couldn't clear it past Larson. Townsend intercepts. Trying to hold in was Steen. He was able to do so. It's sent below the goal line where Vidmar has. Vidmar ridden off it there by Azanaro, and that'll be a penalty. Then Azanaro is blown up here, and all hell is going to break loose. Everybody pairing off now. Anderson and Holtman quick to get in there. Apap takes a shot around the jaw. Saub in there as well. The initial call was going to be on Azanaro for a hook or a trip. We'll see if there's another one forthcoming out of that scrum. 7:56 remaining in the first, but at least for the time being, it appears that the Wildcats will be shorthanded for the first time this evening. Azanaro will get one on the initial minor. Will they give any others for any other Wildcats? It looks like they want to give APAP one. Still trying to sort it out. For the time being, Azanaro is the only one skating over to the box, and it looks like that's going to be the only penalty. Staub talking to Greco, immediately wondering why there wasn't more assessed to the Brahmas. Either way, the Wildcats, who have had a bit of a bugaboo on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill the last few weeks, will get to it for the first time tonight. Azanaro sits for 2 minutes for hooking with 7:56 remaining in the first. This is one back to the point. This is Steen along to Solovyev. Cross ice pass. Vidmar loading shot deflected there and goes up high and gets the glass. Staub not able to clear past Solovyev. Solovyev walking in. Now one-timer punched away there on a blocker save by Austin Shaw coming from the stick of Sebastian Vidmar. Into the corner and worked up to the point. It's Solovyev. Solovyev walks towards the middle now as Andrin holds on it. Now gives it to Steen, middle of the blue line. Steen, backdoor for Vidmar outside the circle. Vidmar will play this towards the corner and get a return pass. Walking in from the wall, Vidmar. Now it's Solovyev wanting to trade places with Vidmar. This is Vidmar, high slot, backdoor pass, shot from an acute angle, goes wide, rims off the glass and into the neutral zone. 45 seconds elapsed on the power play for the Brahmas as Vidmar motors this one into the offensive zone. Drop pass here along to the stick of Larson, who walks in, shot, shoulder save there, puck is loose. Cook will fling this one down the ice. Nice play there by Cook to fight his stick free and get it the length. Penalty kill halfway done here for the Wildcats, brought to you by Gilmore's Collision Center. We're going to start this one forward. Here is Sanderson. He'll wheel up the ice. Looks to play off to the right wing side. A force to his backhand. Vanderbeck swats this one along to the back wall. To the near side of Karams. Egan gets there ahead of Bolio. Trying to dig it free are the Wildcats. Skips over the stick of Hansen. Upended was Apap as he rushed away. No call upcoming as Greco will let that one go as incidental contact. Apap has it shorthanded and plays this one in deep to kill off some more time. 30 seconds remaining on the penalty to Azanaro as starting to walk forward are the Brahmas. Sent down the ice there nicely by Shane Kosmeski. Not messing around with it was Shane, as there's 20 seconds remaining and now 15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Azanaro. Giles Up the ice, gives it to Vanderbeck over the red line, hill skate. Rimmed hard around the boards, first to it is Townsend. Tries to clear and does, all the way down it goes. And this is going to be a much needed kill for the Wildcats. As out of the box right now is As an Arrow. And the Wildcats kill off the penalty on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. That's a good confidence booster there. As starting to walk this one forward is Alex Carl. Spiked away from him nicely there by Farmer. Uchin walks this one in. Glues the puck in front, shot. Toe save there by Austin Shaw. What a save as Falconer chips this one free. That one came from the stick of Walrab, combining with Quinn Carroll in front. Fed around to the far side wall, held in at the point by Giles. Pitched it below the goal line. Here is Cody Wickline now in the near side corner. Wickline looks to go out to the point. He's walled off it there. Takes a hack from Matt Cook. Trying to play this one towards the front there was Ford. Not able to do so, but Roman Uchin on it below the goal line. Uchin spinning away from Cam Knight. Uchin up to the point. This one is played back down below the goal line for Wickline. Centered there, and that was off the skate of Matt Cook and carried away. Intercepted here by Matt Cook in his own zone. Reisinger trying to provide an outlet and does. Here's Reisinger. Can he skate down? He'll beat the icing here. Puts on the brakes. Waits for some teammates. Reisinger still waiting for support. Protecting in the corner. Fed towards the middle. Nobody home there. Hopeful play. But Ford spikes this off the glass into the neutral zone. Jeff Baum quickly up ahead. It's Nikita Litviak on side. Litviak takes it to the right wing wall. Takes it towards the corner. Litviak still with it. Trying to walk towards the front of the net. Puck loose there. It's on the stick of Lazarus. Here is Lazarus holding on it. Yeager loading high slot. Glove saved by TJ Black. 4:35 remaining in the first period. The Wildcats have the cycle working. TJ Black making some sharp saves after Austin Shaw has made a couple of his own down at the other end. 1-0 to score. Austin Bolio the goal scorer for the Wildcats, with the faceoff come to the right of TJ Black. Black at home on the year after last night, 12-1-1 with a 198 goals against average and a 902 save percentage. That regulation loss, though, of course, came not here, but at the Blaine, Minnesota showcase. Off the faceoff, having a hustle are the Wildcats, as this is Andren trying to chip this one forward. He'll chip it past Kuzmeski, bomb the first there to it, skittering off the outside of the cage. Wildcats settle as this one is Lazarus in his own corner. Slap shot, punched away, rebound, didn't go where Shaw wanted it to. Andren picks this one up. Loses out on the far side wall, though, as Litviak chops it free. Gave it along to Lazarus. Lazarus over the offensive blue line, holding his shot off a leg. That goes up and out of play. And Lazarus draws a crowd here. Coming in is Austin Hinchin as well. Guys pairing off. Expect to see this all night long. It's going to be a big task for Greco, Hartman, and Anderson to keep this one under wraps. 4:09 remaining in the first period. A shot from Lazarus caroms out of play, as the Wildcats should get an offensive zone draw out of this. Coming to the left of TJ Black. As looks like it'll be Evan Oakley good to go, so whatever was wrong with his skate. I think that was Troy Young, the Wildcats photographer, who came down, grabbed the skate, ran it over to the pro shop to get it sharpened, and Troy Young, all-service photographer, helping out on the equipment side as well. Thanks, Troy. I'm sure Evan Oakley thanks you as well. Face-off coming to the left of Black. Subri wasn't able to handle a bouncing puck on the drop. Cleared out only as far as sounded in the neutral zone. Gave it back to As an Arrow through the middle of the ice. That one hit Carroll in the chin. Walking forward, Carroll shot wide of the cage there on the glove side of Austin Shaw. Chipped out, but not all the way. The Wildcats still not able to clear. Subri is finally able to force this one down the ice. Oakley, was he able to get over the red line? No, so this will be icing here, as Hinchin was lining Steen up for a big collision in the corner. 3:45 remaining in the first. The Wildcats will have another defensive zone face-off to deal with. Shots on goal, 13-7 in this contest in favor of the Wildcats, according to the big board here at the NYTEX Center. Face-off to the right of Shaw forthcoming here. Carroll will take it against Subri. Face-off, lifted stick by Subri. This one is cleared, not out. Giles towards the net, blocked down in front. Subri got in the way and looks to skate this one forward. Got it to Oakley, who this time does get to the red line and serves it softly in as the Wildcats are in the midst of a change. Fanning on a headman pass, or perhaps a pump fake there, was Hayden Hansen. Either way, now he'll start it through the middle of the ice. Egan on the button hook play through the middle will force Townsend towards the wall. Rolled off it there hard towards the front of the net, and we'll get the penalty upcoming here as Bolio went down awkwardly from behind. So Walrab is going to get a penalty here. Chirping at Bolio on his way to the box, and the Wildcats 0 for 1 on the power play are going to have their second opportunity of the night forthcoming. It's a boarding call against number 17, Storm Walrab. And the Wildcats will go to work on the man advantage, which as I mentioned, leads the league. Power play only 1 for 13 against the Brahmas this year, though. Make that 1 for 14 in 3 and almost a period of action. 3 games and almost a period, I should say. Face off to the right of Black. Townsend and Cam Knight are out there, washed out of the draw. And we have a false start. The scorers were not ready. APAP, Staub, Bolio, Townsend, and Cam Knight out there for Wichita Falls, as Vidmar will take the draw for Lone Star. Looking to sweep the stick. One back to the point by the Wildcats. Knight holds quickly along for Bolio. Bolio down into the corner for Staub. Staub walks up to the top of the zone. Knight holds on it. Shot through some traffic. Davidson chops this one down. Now it's a foot race shorthanded. It's Sebastian Vidmar as Cam Knight will hustle this one back. Vidmar protects and takes it below the goal line here, trying to kill off some more time. Coming back to help out was Austin Bolio. He'll pull this one free and move it forward. Bolio with Davidson in front of him, led it softly along for Staub, who chipped it past Hansen and went in after it. Staub and Bolio there, first to it there for the Wildcats. Staub hit hard in from behind. No call up coming here as Knight has us at the blue line. Walking in, shot punched away there by TJ Black. APAP on the rebound near side. He'll try to spin towards the corner where it's Staub taking. Staub pressed into the wall there. APAP trying to hold, but he wasn't able to do so as Davidson will chip this one high down the ice. It skitters towards the Wildcats goal line as both teams will start up a change. A minute remaining in the Wildcats power play. Their second of the night as Walrab sits 2 minutes for boarding. The Cats lead 1-0 with 2:15 remaining in the first here in North Richland Hills. Farmer drops it for Reisinger. Reisinger loading for Yeager. Yeager drags to the right wing wall. Yeager looks to trade places there and leave it behind. Reisinger tries to pull this one free. Up to the blue line. Here is Cook holding slap shot. Saved there by Black as Farmer was set up back door, but Cook elected to blast, and Black was equal to the task. 2 minutes even remaining in the first. The Wildcats have 42 seconds remaining on their second man advantage of the evening. They are 0 for 1 on the man advantage tonight. They were 0 for 2 on the man advantage last night. 0 for 3 on the weekend are the Wildcats. They have not been blanked on a weekend in quite some time, as off the faceoff, Davidson will try to hammer this one down the ice. Yeager got in the way on a second attempt. Davidson will serve this one back behind into the middle of the ice. Falconer recorrals, skates it around the circle. Plays softly behind the net for Reisinger, who tries to go up to the wall. Cook skates down to the right wing half wall, is able to force it back down towards the corner. Steen has some trouble with it here. Reisinger looks to get involved as well. Reisinger finds Yeager, loading shot, blocked in front there by Davidson. He'll sweep it out on the hand. Cook gets in the way there of Carroll, just in front of the Brahmas bench, kicked free here, and swatted down the ice. That should do it in the Wildcats power play opportunity, as out of the box in the next 3 seconds is Walrab. We're in the last minute 15 of the first period as Townsend looks to start this one forward. Got it along for Lazarus. His pass to the middle of the ice found Subri. Subri chopped away from him, but he'll golf this one into the offensive zone as we tick down towards the last minute of play in the first period, brought to you by American Classifieds. Nice play by Litviak. Can't force it down the wall. Still has it on his stick. He'll delay. Walks inside now once more. Gave it to Lazarus. Lazarus spins away from some pressure in the corner. Lazarus changes places. Now walks in front. Lazarus backhander wide of the cage. Rebound is loose. And Black covers up and will get the whistle as Subri took a poke and a second one as well. 48.9 seconds remaining. That was just the parting of the Red Sea there as Lazarus was able to walk in between some guys in the offensive zone. Got a backhand effort away. Black was equal to the task. 48.9 seconds remaining in the first. Cats will have an offensive zone draw coming here. And this is a similar effort to what we saw in the first last night from the Wildcats. The thing to watch for in the second is how they carry that over that middle frame. Off the faceoff, trying to win it back to the point, but unable to do so was Bolio. Walking this one forward and playing in deep was Vanderbeck. Carrying along here as an arrow will take this one away. Staub swept up the wall. Giles holds in. Down below the goal line it goes. Fed free here. Slap shot goes wide of the cage on a one-timer from the boards. Townsend works this one free. Bolio is just able to clear it through. Now it's Colin Staub at a 2-on-1, 20 seconds remaining. Staub, backhander towards the front, and it skips just wide of the cage as he went backhand forehand. Here's Azanaro, plays down along the right wing wall. Bolio swept it along there. Cam Knight, the first to it here on the far side, sent it right back down low whence it came. Staub skating over in the last 7 seconds of this period. Staub has had 3 grade A looks in this first, hasn't found the net yet, as we have the horn to end the first period of action. So, The accounts were opened early, just 15 seconds into the game. Austin Bolio opened things up on the game's first shot of the night. Colin Staub had a breakaway attempt, had a 2-on-1 attempt there, had a chance in the high slot. Those all went begging as the Wildcats still lead 1-0. Shots on goal in that period are 17-7 according to Point Streak here. As we'll get you the final total on the other side of the break. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll hear from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine, and we'll also take a look around the league and then Jerry's Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard report. All that and more coming your way here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Tech Center. 20 minutes are in the books between your Wildcats and the Lone Star Brahmas. The Wildcats are leading 1-0 on a goal just 15 seconds into the game for the Wildcats, coming off the stick of Austin Bolio. It was a good face-off win by the Cats. They sent it in deep. The forecheck went working. APAP sprung it loose after Staub went and canceled his man out. More on that in just a second. And that allowed APAP to send it through a seam into the slot where Bolio had ghosted into the zone unmarked and rifled it past the blocker's side of TJ Black to make it 1-0. And I will say this, TJ Black has been very solid in this game, making 16 saves on 17 shots according to the point streak here. But he has kept that one from getting to 2-0, 3-0, maybe even 4-0. Who knows? The Wildcats with several high percentage looks in that period. And we'll say this, Colin Staub absolutely buzzing right now for the Wildcats. Had 3 grade A looks in that period, working with Bolio and APAP. Clearly the chemistry very quick to return between those 3 as the Wildcats got off to a great start. And there's something I want to mention about that play, though. Colin Staub doing exactly what is needed on that play. He knows he's not going to free that puck loose and get it himself. But what he knows he can do is work it loose just enough, maybe a foot, maybe 3 feet, maybe a half a foot. Who knows? Work it loose just enough for your teammate to come along, pick it up, and work it to another guy. This time that was APAP working it along to Bolio. That is just what the doctor ordered for the Wildcats after the disappointment of last night. Let's revisit our conversation with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine from earlier in the day. Had a lot to say about the first and third period. Wasn't too keen on that second, as you would expect from last night's effort, as now we're going to hear from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. With you Wildcats fans, and joining me now is Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. The Wildcats are looking to bounce back from a 6-3 loss against the Lone Star Brahmas last night and salvage a split of the weekend series in a crucial 2-game set. And John, I guess the simplest thing you can say about the game last night was that it was kind of a tale of 3 different periods in that contest.
Yeah, we came out and had the start that we wanted. Some RD with Townsend and Cook's goal, and we had traffic in front of the net, and just what we wanted. We were moving the puck quick and played for the most part a good first. I don't think we ended the last 5 minutes. We weren't quite as strong. They started to turn it on, but that was our plan.
The question is, what happened in the second period? The Wildcats wound up getting outshot 16-4 in that middle frame after outshooting Lone Star 15-11, really carrying the play for 15 of the first 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. They got a couple of power plays early within the first 10 minutes, and our penalty kill did a great job for set up. Our guys were pressing and pressing them and pressuring them, and we were getting loose pucks and getting them out of the zone. And really, they didn't get set up at all. Then towards the end of both of those, they just found kind of getting the puck to the net and in. And I think that was frustrating. But then we sat back after that. Instead of trying to get the momentum back and get on our toes and start beating them.
Wildcats outshot Lone Star 16-4 in the final frame and got the early goal that they needed in that period to cut it from 4-2 to 4-3. But try as they might to pour on the pressure, it was classic Brahmas hockey. They sprung a couple of rushes at the end and scored on 2 of their 4 shots in the frame. John, let's talk a little bit about the 5-on-5 play here. We mentioned the penalty kill. Overall, were you pleased with your
Yes, yeah. The first and third, we played strong. Guys were much more committed to playing on the D on D side and boxing out, giving our goalies the ability to see the puck. The first and third periods, if we'd had a second period like that, it might be a different story right now.
That seems to be something that has been plaguing the Wildcats over the last month why that might be?
We haven't had any issues for the most part generating offense. It's been clamping down a little bit tighter on defense. And defense is hard work. Defense is reading the ice and reading it together and playing as a unit, trusting each other. And we've seen some strides. We've gotten better. We just can't seem to put it all together against the better teams. And obviously, we're playing.
What's step one tonight in this second game against the Brahmas?
We got to get back to what we were doing in the first and third, and that's to first of all beat them to pucks and play on our toes, and make sure that we keep them in front of us, not letting them. They like to stretch and they like to sneak guys to behind you, and making sure that we're keeping them in front of us, but that we're gapping up and really slowing them down in the mid zone as best we can. You don't want to stand at the top of circles and wait for them with all the speed that they will generate through the mid zone. They like to stretch and kind of slant their centers through the mid zone and make the long pass. And for the most part, we handled it. We just struggled a little bit a second.
One final note on the weekend, John. Last night's game was not overly physical, which was, at least for me, a bit surprising for a Brahmas team that really likes to set the tone early in their home building with big hits in the corners, in the open ice. Are you expecting a more physical game tonight?
I know. I think it'll be a physical game. I think there'll be a little bit of chippiness out there. Hopefully, from us, you see a more physical game. When you look at the makeup of their team, they have a third and fourth line that have an edge to them, and will play that way. But their first two lines are mostly at skill, and they play a skilled game. So yeah, they've got the right role players in some areas, but for the most part, it was. On our end, that we'd like to see us finish some hits and make sure that we're establishing a little more of a physical presence.
All right, John, thanks so much for your time. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard report as Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue after this. Here at the NYTEX Center, Ben Horner with you, Wildcats fans, on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. You just heard from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine speaking with me earlier in the day. One of the things he ended that conversation with was saying that he hoped to see increased physicality from the Wildcats in the opening stages of tonight's contest. And I would say, by my estimation anyway, they have been able to do exactly that. They're finishing checks, not just a check here and a check there. Every single check in the offensive zone has been finished. The Wildcats are playing hard. They're playing physical. They're playing intense, hungry hockey. And the end result is a 1-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. Of course, the Wildcats, not the only game on offer tonight in the North American Hockey League, so we'll take a look at what's going on around the league in the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard report. A couple of finals to get to you already, or at least one final, as Michigan is swept at home. The Warriors lose to the Keystone Ice Miners 4-1. Keystone picked up a 5-3 win last night behind two third-period goals, and now this is one regulation loss in just the last 12 games for Keystone, who are rocketing their way up the North Division standings, although they've still got a long way to go to catch the Janesville Jets, who are running away with that division. The aforementioned Jets are leading 5-4 in the latter stages of the third period, and the Sioux, up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, there, the Eagles trying to avoid getting swept. Sioux has struggled mightily against Janesville this year. They are 1-8-0 against the Jets in 2014-15. Minnesota, the back end of a home-and-home between the Bruins and the Minnesota Magicians, sees Austin leading 4-1 halfway through the second stanza in Minnesota. The Magicians fell last night, a 4-3 overtime win for the Austin Bruins, with Troy Uglum getting the game-winning goal on the power play. And just 2 wins in the last 13 games from the Minnesota Magicians. They are 44-20-1. since starting 11-6-0. In Springfield, the Johnstown Tomahawks are on their way to a 3-game sweep if they can close this one out. They have a 3-goal advantage as they tick their way towards the end of the second period in that one. Junior Blues in danger of falling out of touch in the playoff race as those two teams are tied for the fourth and final playoff spot in the North Division. Bismarck playing host to the Aberdeen Wings this weekend, and after a win last night, 4-1 over the Wings, the Aberdeen Wings are looking to return the favor. They have a 3-0 lead with about 30 minutes gone there. They have about 10 minutes remaining in the second period in Bismarck. Later on this evening, Fairbanks will host the Cooley Region Chill. Cooley Region picked up a 3-2 win last night after Fairbanks took the series opener 3-2 in overtime. Later on in Alaska, Kenai River will finish out their 3-game set with the Wenatchee Wild, with the Wild looking to finish off the weekend sweep. Around the South Division right now, still going on. They're in the second period in Amarillo in the Budweiser bullpen. Bulls 1, Rio Grande Valley 2, as the Bees look to sweep Amarillo on the road for the second time this season. They did it back in September, and that would be a big boost to Rio Grande Valley as those two teams continue to swap back and forth for the sixth and final playoff spot in the division. In Odessa at the Jack Shack, the third of 3 games between the Jackalopes and the Ice Rays, 2-1 in favor of Corpus Christi through one period of action, and that is that on the out-of-town scoreboard. Sorry, one more to get to you. Minot leading 2-1 over the Brookings Blizzard. Missed that one just a moment ago. They have about 13 minutes remaining in the second period as Minot lost 4-3 last night, just their third loss in regulation since December the 12th, as if it weren't for the efforts of Janesville, they would be considered one of the league's hottest teams. Is that on the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard report, and that is that on the intermission report. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have the second period of action between the Wildcats and Brahmas here from the NYTEX Center in North Richland Hills. Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue after this on the Wildcats Broadcast Network and FastHockey.com. Period straight ahead between your Wildcats and the Lone Star Brahmas here in North Richland Hills at the NYTEX Center. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Cats leading 1-0. Austin Bolio's tally at 15 seconds of the first is the game's only marker thus far. The Wildcats outshot the Brahmas 17-7 in that first period. As last night they outshot Lone Star 15-11 in the first, but Lone Star answered back with an absolutely dominating performance in the second frame. We'll see if the Wildcats can keep the big momentum rolling after a strong first period, as Coach LaFontaine had indicated that's what he needs to see tonight to get his team back to where they were back at the beginning of the year. Austin Shaw now in the cage to our right. Catskate P to Q across your keyboard. TJ Black in the cage to our left as they come back the other way to the Brahmas Q to P. We start this period at 5-on-5 as it looks like it'll be APAP, Folio, and Staub to go for the Wildcats. For the Brahmas, it appears to be Egan, Quinn Carroll, and Storm Walrab. And we'll say this, for both goaltenders, Shaw has made some very sharp saves, but TJ Black, as I mentioned in intermission, might have kept this one from being a bit more lopsided than the 1-0 scoreline we face. Matt Cook, Cam Knight, the defenseman out there for the Cats. Steen and Solovyev, the blue liners for the Brahmas. We'll get going in just a second here in the middle frame here in North Richmond Hills. It's going to be a big one, and the Wildcats are going to look to control it and expand on this lead as we are set to go after a quick talking to for Bolio and Walrab. So APAP will spin out and reset. Hartman getting set to drop the puck, and the puck is down. We're underway in the middle frame, brought to you by American Classified, as Bolio picks up the loose disc, ramped it along to a teammate there, and the Wildcats will gain the zone. Quick shot blocked there from Staub. Caroms away to the back wall, hooked towards the middle of the ice. Nobody home there. Cook on a one-handed sweep play was able to knock it down low, but this sent all the way down the ice. No icing here, as beating it back will be Pat Egan. Egan picks this one up, swoops towards the middle. Egan has some trouble there, loses out on the puck, wasn't able to hold his own, as this is APAP giving it to Bolio. Left wing side, here's Bolio putting on the brakes, trailing place, here's Knight, shot, and it was canceled out there, as he couldn't pull the trigger cleanly. Now the Wildcats might have to defend in numbers. Skating up the ice here is Solovyev. He'll chip this one, try to get past Colin Staub. Staub ramped it away from him, bumped it off the wall to leave it there. Now a headman pass, Falconer fresh from the bench. Here's Falconer, walks in front, toe drag. Falconer trying to pick the top corner on a flip play. The net is off its moorings. That's the best bit of skill we've seen from Alex Falconer all year long. The skilled forward at a Shattuck St. Mary's Preparatory School. Fresh from the bench, took the puck at the blue line, toe dragged around the defenseman, and almost had Black beaten upstairs, but he sent it just skittering over the bar. 50 seconds gone in the second frame here. Cats still leading 1-0, as it'll be Farmer to take the draw with Azanaro in the shooting hole. Off into the glove there cleanly, either from Farmer or it got some help from Larson, and Black freezes. 2 more seconds click off the clock, and we'll do it all again, coming to the left of Black once more. Ben Horner with you. Thanks for making this a part of your Saturday evening plans. Face off, won by Farmer, has an arrow towards the front of the net. Farmer, turnaround shot, didn't get all the way through. Farmer takes it to the near side wall. His pass open for Reisinger was away from him, as Reisinger forces this one back to his defensive teammate and has an arrow. Has an arrow along for Townsend up the ice for Farmer after he had blown a tire. Reisinger can't handle this one clean, as this is picked up by Giles and swept along to Hansen. In his own zone, it's Hayden Hansen, intercepted nicely by Farmer. Chips it off the wall, can't skate onto the loose puck, however, as this is hooked up ahead and skated onto by Andra. Nice sweep play there by Azanaro to keep this one from getting in towards a dangerous area, as the Wildcats have it in their own zone in the form of Townsend, and now Azanaro. His pass cross ice, skated onto here by Falconer, just away from him, and it spiked away from him. Townsend put it right onto the stick of Giles, who will motor forward. Here's Giles, drops it for Vidmar. His shot blocked there nicely by Reisinger on the back check, and he'll sweep it along the kick plate to Jake Townsend. Townsend to the middle of the ice for Litviak. He'll skate 1-on-2 here. Litviak in the zone. Toe drag, holding, shot! Oh, and it got the glass. He had Black beaten clean upstairs, and he sent it to the glass over the bar. Lazarus from the bench along there with Litviak. They weren't able to hold his zone, as this is Kosmeski in the neutral zone, as the Cats tag up on a delayed offside. Litviak not happy that he didn't get the benefit of the doubt from Anderson, as we'll play on here. Vanderbeck chopped at this one. It rims around the glass. First to it here is Romanuchin for Lone Star. Kosmeski lost his stick. He'll regain control. Now it's Carl towards the back door. Nobody home, skating onto it here. It's pickpocketed by Litviak, who moves it up for Lazarus. Too far for Laz to reach. Will it be icing? Yes, it will. 17:36 remaining in the second, and the Wildcats will deal with a defensive zone draw, as they had Lazarus in some space, but Litviak's pass was errant. Litviak having a pretty strong game thus far. I'm liking what we're seeing from this unit of Yeager, Litviak, and Lazarus. Yeager, a very direct hockey player in a similar mold as Colin Staub. Maybe not as strong as Colin Staub, although Yeager is certainly deceptively strong for a wiry 180 pounds. Lazarus to take the draw here. Tied up. Backhand effort floats high of the cage and wide from the stick of a Brahmas skater in the shooting hole. Trying to work this one free as Litviak has it canceled off his stick. He'll fight loose, curl back into his own zone, and look to play this one up the ice. Put under pressure there by Ford. Nice quick pass there by Baum. Kuzmeski moves it up for Litviak, who got himself free. Here's Litviak, top of the right circle, tries to turn the corner, couldn't poke it out in front there. Leaves it behind, ties up as Lazarus tries to get involved. Davidson pulls this one free. Lazarus swept it back into his control in the corner as this is Jaeger getting involved in along the wall. Litviak holding on it here. Jaeger wants it. Litviak still protecting, spins away into the corner, and now will look to play up the wall. Has it taken off his stick there. Should have played that puck a little bit sooner, shouldn't Nikita, as Carreras jabs this one by Matt Cook. Cam Knight in his own zone worked it up the ice. Jaeger couldn't handle it. Carl, big slap shot, steered up high and goes up to the glass. Egan picks up the rebound, rimmed hard around the boards. Hinchin will meet it on the near side half wall and look to roll this one free. It's chopped forward here. Oakley couldn't handle a bouncing puck as Jaeger sent it in, and he'll come to the bench for a change. Headman pass stood up there by Walrab by Matt Cook, as this is Hinchin in his own zone, playing it right onto the stick of Walrab. Look out here. Walrab walking along the goal line. Backhander forced wide of the cage. Walrab in front there, and a good alert stick by Cam Knight to force that one away. Puck still loose in a dangerous area. It's on the cage of Shaw. Swept away. Hooked behind the cage, and Hinchin picks this one up for the Wildcats. Hinchin has some trouble with it there, but Oakley comes along and swooped it forward for Subri. Here is Subri taking it wide. Subri will play it softly towards the net. Black picks it up. Oakley put it towards the front of the net. Nobody home there in a black sweater. Bolio couldn't grab that loose puck in the offensive zone as we play just over 4 minutes in this second period. The Wildcats still leading 1-0. Down the wall, Oakley flubbed his dump in. He'll get a second attempt at it. Can't get it into the corner as this is Walrab. In front of the penalty boxes, he'll send this down the ice. It was off the official there, so that kept it from going for icing as Carroll fights himself free. He lost his stick, though, as an arrow was in the way. Played towards the front of the net there, and it got there just a little too late for Vidmar to poke home. Look out here. Stop. Gets this one forward. Bolio for Apap now. Apap walking free. Stop. Forces this one back below the goal line. Won't win this battle as this one is picked up here by the Brahmas in the form of Ludwig Larson. He'll motor down the left wing wall and gain the zone. Ludwig Larson all the way through, and he missed the net as Shaw went into a butterfly, and it might have closed off the angle upstairs. In the near side, trying to dig it free is Apap. Vidmar walking free, lost the handle. Bolio strips Larson. Larson gets it back in front. Loading shot save. Rebound. Giles sent it wide of the cage as he didn't get all of his one-timer. 5 minutes played in the second. The Brahmas starting to warm to the task here. This is Giles towards the end line. It's picked up there by Andren. Left behind here as Apap has some trouble with it. There's an errant stick down there. That's Quinn Carroll's as this is still held by Larson. Now it's Bolio in his own zone. He'll have his pocket pick. Larson towards the net. Vidmar all alone in front. Oh my word! Austin Shaw with the save of the year! Are you kidding me, Austin Shaw? 14:34 remaining in the second. Austin Shaw, we've seen some worldies from him, but my goodness, that is a remarkable save. Vidmar was all alone in front. One fake on the forehand, another on the backhand, and Shaw exploded from right to left and arrived him on the glove side. Wow. We've seen some great ones from Shaw this year, including in his first start against the Wilderness, but that tops them all, bar none. We're back to play here. This one into the neutral zone. Cam Knight tries to chip this one forward. He'll touch up so there's no hand pass as Cook has to chase it back into his own zone. And even a few claps of appreciation from the Brahmas staff and the Brahmas fans after that save. Reisinger swept it along there. He was hoping for Farmer. It was behind him here as a loose puck is overskated by Uchin. Vanderbeck ramps this one in deep here. First back to it is Cam Knight. He'll send it along hoping for Cook. Too hot for Matt to handle as Falconer rolls it up the wall. Carl towards the net, deflected just wide of the cage. Bank attempt there goes wide. Puck is loose and Reisinger has it in the defensive zone. He'll stick handle away from some traffic, gets to the wall. Reisinger has his pocket pick though as he was trying to dump in. Wildcats on a delay or on a change here as Ford skates this one in. Here is Ford below the goal line. Brahmas starting to warm to the task here as this is Ford below the goal line. Davidson involved. Yeager back there for the Wildcats as well as a two-a-side battle. Sees this one worked behind, still by Ford. Knight with a good battle there. Ford couldn't hook it towards the middle where Carreras was waiting. To the corner it goes. Behind the cage, this is Cam Knight. Swept along to the near side wall. Litviak can't beat it towards the net there. Deflected, goes up high off the stick of Davidson. Played towards the front of the net, spiked away. Ford gets it back. Carreras up to the blue line. This is Solovyev on his backhand, wheeling towards the middle. Solovyev shot, save, rebound. Shaw has it covered. 13:06 remaining in the second. The Brahmas are ramping up the pressure. Shaw is turning them aside, but how much longer can he keep the pressure away? Wildcats leading 1-0 here. 13:06 remaining in the second. Shots on goal are 5-2 in favor of the Brahmas in this period here. 19-11 in favor of the Wildcats, or 19-12 in favor of the Cats in the game. I'm still having trouble making sense of what just happened on that Austin Shaw glove save. You'll be seeing that one on highlight reels in the North American Hockey League for quite some time. Here's Colin Staub off the faceoff in the Cats defensive zone. He'll give it along for Kosmeski. Kosmeski for Baum. It's a homecoming for Jeff from just up the road. Bolio got to stick to it here, so that negates the icing. Black stepped it free. Staub towards the net. Flubbed it there. It's loose below the goal line. Apap trying to lunge for it there. Forced off it, but Bolio will get involved. To the point. Baum send it wide of the cage. Apap jabbing for it there. Loose puck. Kosmeski has for the Wildcats. Up to the blue line. Here's Bolio walking in, loading, shot, save, rebound, and it kicks away. Kosmeski on the far side half wall. He'll play towards the corner. He was hoping for Apap there. Staub, short angle look on a broken play as Solovyev lost the handle. Here's Walrev trying to clear the zone. Bolio holds it in nicely. Here's Bolio walking along. Kosmeski wants it, gets it. Shot goes wide of the cage as Black was screened. Headman pass is on for Egan if they can get it to him. Egan bumped down from behind. No call upcoming here as Hinchin came from the bench and ran him to the ditch from behind. Here is Kosmeski. Almost lost the handle. Played it forward for Staub. Staub chips this one in. Takes a hit up high. Gives a slash in return to Hayden Hansen as we play on. 12 minutes remaining in this second period. Townsend couldn't reach this one. No icing here as Azanaro ridden down awkwardly. Azanaro is back to his feet. That's a very dangerous play there. Oakley has some trouble with it through the neutral zone. Subri comes along to help out as Subri will sink this one in deep on his backhand. With some trouble behind the net there was TJ Black. Hinchin holds his own. Fished it towards the middle. It didn't have enough oomph on it to get to Subri. Subri on a hard forecheck here. Held in by Townsend at the point, but he'll walk it back to the neutral zone. Didn't like what he saw. He'll play it along for Reisinger to sweep in deep as the Cats are in the midst of a change. Black moved this one quickly along for Hansen. Reisinger in on the forecheck here as Farmer gets out there along with Falconer as well. Down the ice. No icing here. Walking in. Here's Andrin, but an offside whistle here as that will freeze play. 11:14 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats leading 1-0 thanks to the goal from Bolio and thanks to the efforts from Austin Shaw in this second period. A couple of remarkable saves. I don't like using the word unbelievable because I just saw it, so I have to believe it. But if there was ever a time to use the word unbelievable, it was that glove save by Austin Shaw a moment ago to keep this one at 1-0 for the Wildcats. The league's leading goal scorer all alone from the hash marks in, and Shaw stonewalled him. Off the face-off, Farmer worked it back to Cam Knight as Knight gets it quickly forward, hoping for Falconer. Falconer has some trouble with it here. It was off a skate, so it's Cook taking it along quickly as Reisinger has some trouble with it at the red line, though. He'll hammer this one around the boards. First of this one here is Hayden Hansen, reversed back to the far side. Davidson is able to ramp this one high and free, but it's held in by Cam Knight. He'll look to play down the wall. Intercepting there was Ford, as Ford plays through the middle for Hogan Davidson. Taken away from him. Sent down the ice. Cook got a stick in the way. That steers it wide of the cage of Shaw. Nicely back below the goal line by Cook, finding Cam Knight, who gives it to the near side half wall for Matt Cook. 10:30 remaining in this second period. Wildcats are leading 1-0 as Farmer gets to the blue line and pitches this one in deep, comes to the bench for a change. First to it here is Hogan Davidson as the Wildcats finish up their unit change, as this is Litviak giving Davidson a good little bump in the neutral zone and stepping onto a loose puck. Litviak being cavalier with the puck in his own zone, has some space, and now will look to walk through. Has some trouble, gains the zone though. Top of the left circle, he'll put on the brakes. Hard pass cross ice, bomb towards the net, deflected, and Black makes the save. Good traffic in front, a dangerous pass from Litviak was almost intercepted. It got to Baum on his offhand, he spun, fired on net. Lazarus had the tip in front, but Black was equal to the task. 10:06 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats leading 1-0 as the game has really opened up in this middle frame. Enjoyable hockey here at the NITEC Center and a great game, great action. End to end we go, as you would expect between two of the better teams in the league. Face-off, it's a tie here. They'll dig it loose in the circle, and it's picked up and cleared down the ice by the Brahmas. Skating onto this one. Here's Vanderbeck trying to get around Kuzmeski. Vanderbeck on his backhand, and it's sent wide of the cage. Good back check there by Kuzmeski to keep that one from being a clean chance. Carl along the blue line. Lazarus will swat at this one and sweep it down the wall. Litviak trying to step along here. Carl steps in his way. Litviak walled off it there as this is Steen. Headman pass intercepted in the neutral zone as the Wildcats skate onto this one. Litviak on a delayed offside at the end of his shift. He's gassed as Sanderson skates it away from the forechecking Russian. Now it's Roman Uchin for the Brahmas in the last 9.5 of the second. Uchin walking in front on his backhand. Puck loose in the slot. Yeager chips it towards the corner and will pursue. Yeager walled off it there. Up the wall, it's Bolio. Austin Bolio on the left wing side. He'll skate to the red line and ramp this softly down the glass. Steen has some trouble with it there as Azanaro gets involved. Azanaro tied up with Steen. A loose puck is in the skates of Bolio before it's worked along for Uchin. Ramped high up the glass. Staub has some trouble locating Townsend on an offside play. Vanderbeck tags up, allowing Staub to step onto this one and start things up the ice once more. Bolio fed softly forward. Staub skates onto it in stride towards the middle here. Staub loading shot, scores! Colin Staub, 5-hole, makes it 2-0. 8:51 left in the second period. Point number 40 on the year for Colin. I said it in the intermission. He's got one in him tonight. He had 3 grade A chances turned aside in the first. He gets his goal in the second, and the Cats lead by 2. With a great individual effort to skate onto a loose puck, chipped it into some space, went after it, and sent a shot that skittered through Black's 5-hole. And that is goal number 15 on the year, point number 40 on the year for the veteran Wildcats, the elder statesman of this Wildcats roster. Played behind the cage of Austin Shaw. Puck is loose below the goal line here. Helped along as Colin Staub, fresh into the goal column, tries to work this one up the wall. Blew a tire below the goal line. That allows Larson to skate over to this one first. Larson steps in front. Here's Vidmar looking to turn all the way around. Can't pull his trigger. Good dogged play there by Matt Cook. Vidmar still sent in front there and shanking a chance to get it on net. I believe was Andrin. Hansen plays below the goal line for Oscar Andrin there. Andrin stumbled a bit, maintains his composure, maintains possession, and gave it to Vidmar. Vidmar pressed into the wall there by Apap, fights free. Vidmar walking in front. Vidmar, and a good poke check there by Staub to cancel out the shot at the last second. Now it's Bolio once more. Ramps up the high glass. Will it stay in play? No, it will not, as that will draw a whistle, and it will be right at center ice. 8:02 remaining in the second period. That'll get us to our media timeout. Wildcats have just stretched their advantage to 2-0. Colin Staub getting the goal, and if you're a Wildcats fan, you're loving the pressure that the Wildcats are putting on here. Sure, they've had to rely on Austin Shaw to make some absolutely massive saves, but the Wildcats were opportunistic, and Colin Staub, the veteran, he had been buzzing around the net in the first period, gets a sniff on goal in the second, and slipped it through the 5-hole of TJ Black. That is where we stand. The assist should go to Bolio, and their secondary might go to whatever D-man chipped it up for Bolio to grab it off the half wall in the defensive zone. Either way, that's 2 points for Austin tonight. Goal and an assist. That gives him 20 assists on the year. He's now got 36 points on the season. And boy, aren't the Alabama Huntsville Chargers happy that they've got him locked up already. Bolio, one of 5 Wildcats heading to the North American Hockey League Top Prospects Tournament in February. He'll play on the Null Selects team. He's committed, so technically he is not eligible for the South team, but in an interest of more draft exposure for the league and the league's best players, they've created an All Selects team this year that will feature Austin Bolio. We're back to play here inside the last minutes of the second period as Kuzmeski chips this one along. Hinchin won't win that race as they'll try to dig this one loose. Sent back below the goal line. Having some trouble with it there was Kuzmeski. As now Uchin will start to motor forward. Uchin looks to split everybody there. Offside play, and we'll get a whistle as they didn't realize it. As Delayed whistle is touched up. 7:39 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats now leading 2-0 after Colin Staub picked up goal number 15 on the air just a moment ago. Colin Staub play the way he's been playing this year, you wonder what took it so long to get a D1 commitment, but Air Force is getting a good one, that is for sure. Worth the wait for Frank Saratori and his tribe. This is Reisinger spiking this one off the boards. Now it's a foot race. Falconer gets it. Falconer holding, shot, scores! Alex Falconer ripped it inside the right-hand post of TJ Black from the top of the right circle, and the Cats now lead by 3. Alex Falconer gets goal number 9 on the year for Falconer. That is just his second point in the last 8 games. Falconer snipes the far post. It's 3-0, and the Wildcats know their work is not done, but that is a big marker. Nice bank play up the ice, and I think we're going to get a timeout. We are going to get a timeout for the Brahmas. A Lone Star team that is averaging just 2.08 goals against has shipped 2 in the last 3 to 4 minutes. First, Colin Staub from Austin Bolio at 11:09 of the second. Then, that one will be Falconer from, I believe, Reisinger at 12:37 of the second. So, goals about a minute and a half apart for the Wildcats. But this is a Brahmas squad that overturned a 3-0 deficit to the Wenatchee Wild earlier this month. So, still lots to do for the Wildcats. 7:23 remains in this second period. 2 quick-fire strikes from Staub and Falconer, a minute and change apart, a minute and 40, we'll call it, for argument's sake, and to keep moving, as this one is put back into play. Soloviev wires this one around the boards. First to it here is Azanaro. Azanaro lost out on this one. Lazarus steps along, bumped it back behind, turned it over. Here's Walrap. Walrap looks to play out in front. Nice stick work there done by, I believe that was Yeager on the far side. Cats can't clear the zone. Pass for Walrap, who had some space in the high slot, went through his wicket. Steen, one-timer, knuckles up high and goes to the glass. Egan first to it here, swept it behind the cage to the near side at Karams. Litviak tied up here, digs it loose, got it along for Townsend. Townsend protects and might start a 2-on-1. Here is Townsend, drops off for Lazarus. Lazarus, slap shot steered wide there by Black. Lazarus, funny bounce on a corner board there, kept Lazarus from taking that one cleanly as Litviak is back in the neutral zone. Litviak wheeling through some traffic. Litviak walking in, loading, toe drag. Litviak shot, fought off there by Black and kept away. Here is Cook now at the half wall, sent in front, loose there for Apap, and he wasn't able to get a stick on it. A 2-on-1 for the Brahmas negated here as Townsend was able to glove that one down. Tries to chip it away from Oscar Andren there. Nice check on the stick work by Apap, and it's free once more for Colin Staub to step onto. 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this second period. Wildcats now leading by 3. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network as Matt Cook is in his own zone, playing this one up the wall for Bolio. Bolio delays, plays it cross ice for Staub in stride. Here is Staub as Apap gets to the middle, and it's forced below the goal line. Vidmar first to it here. He stepped over it. That allows the Wildcats to maintain the forecheck work along the wall, but it's worked free and picked up here by Ludwig Larson. Larson's headman pass into the skates of Vidmar. Tries to kick it past Matt Cook. Cook equal to the task here as those two will tie up. Vidmar cancels his man out. Coming along to move play along was another Brahmas skater. That was Andren getting involved down there as Cook still has this one tied up as working on a change on the fly are the Brahmas. This one played through the middle of the ice. Staub will intercept for the Cats and skate forward. Looks to gain the red line and sweeps in deep, and the Cats will get up a change. Smart play there by Colin as we have 5:15 remaining in the second. Wildcats are doubling Lone Star up on shots right now, 24-12, as this one banks off the boards and in on the cage of Shaw. He will cover up. 5:12 remaining in the second period. 3-0 the score after Austin Bolio gave the Wildcats a 1-0 lead in the first. Colin Staub from Bolio at 11:09, and then Falconer from Reisinger and Kosmeski at 12:37 of the second. Point number 15 on the year for Falconer. For Kosmeski, nice to see him get back in the points column. with an assist. That's his 10th of the year and 14th overall, while Reisinger picks up point number 24. Here is the aforementioned Max, skating one-on-one, gets around Sanderson. Backhander didn't get on cage as Reisinger has this one here. He'll delay, protect the puck on the far side wall as Farmer will look to step free. Falconer takes it below the goal line here, protecting the puck. Lost out, it squirts up to the near side wall. Baum with an aggressive pinch, but it worked out as he was able to hold his own. This one pops high up and goes out of play. No, it stays in play. Thought that hit the protective netting, but we'll move on here. Sanderson quickly along for Romanuchin as looking to start forward is Walrap. Rather, that was Ford. Too far for him. Will it be icing? No, it will not. Shaw not happy in his cage, but we'll move on. Uchin lost out as it was in his skates. Farmer will pitchfork this one high up into the air. Will it go for icing? Yes, it will, as Farmer tried to lay that one and have it skip short. I thought they might have waved it off as Steen took a half-hearted swing trying to knock it down, but the icing is called with 4:26 remaining in the second, and the Cats leading by 3. Face-off will be to Austin Shaw's right. He's made 12 saves thus far on 12 shots faced. In the other net, Black has made 21 shots on 23 shots faced. Blocker save there on a big one-timer from Soloviev. Shaw again equal to the task. Oakley ridden down hard there. Falconer can't chop this one free. Oakley took the stick of a Brahmas man with him as Lone Star gains a zone. Forced right back whence it came by Kuzmeski. Kuzmeski has some trouble with it here below the goal line. It's taken by Baum, who moved it along for Kuzmeski. Kuzmeski can't bank it clean. Here's Steen walking down, holding. Steen shot, saved there by Shaw. He wasn't able to hold on to the rebound as Steen goes to work in the corner, trying to chip it along to a teammate. Baum on the far side will get there first, only as far as Davidson at the half wall. Davidson spikes it off the high glass behind the cage of Shaw. Kuzmeski first there to it. Ridden in after he couldn't control it cleanly. Kicks it back behind as Baum is having some trouble here on the forechecking effort of Davidson. Trying to pull it free was Carreras. Oakley will dig for it there, and it squirts loose behind the cage of Shane Kuzmeski. 3:30 remaining in this second period. Pass through the middle of the ice for Falconer, intercepted as the Wildcats just need to get this one down the ice and get a change of their D pairing here as Baum and Kuzmeski have been out there a long time. This is Carroll with Baum facing up on him. It's whapped around the boards there. Walrab the first to it. Hinchin takes it for Wichita Falls. Can't clear the zone again. This is picked up in the corner by Walrab. Played towards the middle. Egan instead to the blue line. Here is Hansen loading. Shot. Rebound. Loose. And Shaw with another save. Point blank towards the net. Loose puck on the toe drag. Still they can't clear. That's 2 world-class saves from Austin Shaw, the Wildcats netminder. Wildcats still desperately trying to fight this one out, and Subri will finally clear the zone. Kuzmeski, gassed at the end of his shift, plays it out of play with 2:45 remaining in the second. Austin Shaw, for the second time tonight, I have no idea who he robbed point blank on the back door after a rebound, but he sprawled out, used every inch of that 6'4" frame to turn that one aside. Mom and Dad Shaw did well with that one. He needed every little last bit of his 6'4" frame as a neutral zone faceoff will come in the last 2:45 of the second. APAP washed out of the draw, so Colin Staub, jack of all trades, will step in. He'll tie up off the draw. That allows Boley to swoop along. Nice play there by Colin, as this is Knight working it along to a future teammate at the University of Alabama Huntsville in the form of Bolio. Staub, his pass for APAP is onside. APAP in some tight quarters will play this one towards the net. Bolio on a skittering puck, can't chip it along to a teammate here, as this is on the blade of Vidmar. Vidmar, forward down the ice, it is taken by Andren. He'll sweep this one in deep. 2:20 remaining in the second here as Staub is back to chip it off the wall for Cam Knight, who left it along for APAP. APAP's pass hits Bolio. Had to catch it in his skates, swept it along to the near side. Staub will glove this one down and take it to the near side wall. Towards the front of the net there, nobody on the back door as APAP was changing, as onto the ice is Eric Yeager. 2 minutes remaining in the second. Wildcats trying to get out of this period with a 3-0 lead, thanks to some great saves by Austin Shaw and some opportunistic scoring by the Cats in this frame. Down the ice it goes. Under pressure there was Carl. Litviak intercepts. Here's Litviak, and a good recovery play there by Sanderson to force him to the corner. 1:45 remaining in the second. Two-a-side battle ensues. Nice work there by Lazarus and Litviak to keep play alive on the forecheck as Carl is forced back below his goal line. He'll sweep this one along for Steen. It skitters into the neutral zone. Vidmar delays, hooked it along for Wickline. Wickline with a head full of steam. Wickline walking down the middle, and a good poke check there by Shaw to drive that one wide. Yeager Had his pocket pick there. He'll get it back on his second attempt. Yeager stepping along here as Litviak to his left, but Yeager will escape the zone as Lazarus gets to the red line on the pass. Lazarus chips it back towards the near side corner with 1:10 remaining in the second period. Litviak getting involved, trying to hold the zone, rising on the far side half wall. Softly back to the point. Here's Townsend. Slap shot, scores! Townsend might have been tipped in front with 1:03 left in the second. The Cats are leading 4-0. Cats return the favor from last night. The Brahmas scored 3 in that one in the middle frame, and the Wildcats have put up a trio here. They lead by 4. Townsend's blast from the point snuck through traffic, might have been tipped. We're going to see a goaltending change here. So, chased out of the game is TJ Black. Coming in is Jake Kupski. We'll get you his numbers in the second intermission, which is 63 seconds of game action ahead. Here's Vanderbeck. Wasn't able to hold the zone. Hansen cranks this one around the boards. They give the goal to Townsend with Reisinger on the assist. That's 2 points for Max tonight as Farmer can't ramp this one up the glass. It's held in, played towards the middle. Loading shot, turned aside by Shaw. Rebound is lively off the outside of the cage, and it squirts to the corner there. Carreras ridden in hard nicely there by Azanaro. It's worked along, though, to be picked up by the Brahmas. Hansen towards the net, steered wide there by Shaw on a good stick save. Townsend trying to win that race there. Getting there ahead of him was Giles. Townsend now getting worked over in the corner in the last 15 seconds. Wildcats not able to clear. Carroll towards the front of the net. Loose puck here. Davidson loading shot, and as he tried to tee up Carroll, it went through his legs. Hansen in the last 6 seconds of this middle frame. Shaw will push this one towards the corner, and that will bring us the horn. Second period in the books. The Wildcats leading 4-0. Townsend scored most recently with 1:03 remaining in the middle frame to give the Wildcats the 4-0 edge. Before him, it was Colin Staub and Alex Falconer, 1:40 apart. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have highlights from last night's game. We'll take a look at what's going on around the North American Hockey League. But more importantly, we'll break down that second period of action, and it was a good one for the Wildcats. All that and more coming your way on the other side of the break as the Wildcats lead 4-0. As Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue after this. Tech Center in North Richland Hills. The Wildcats put up 3 goals in that middle frame to push their advantage to 4-0 over the Lone Star Brahmas. Still more work to do upcoming in the second period, or in the third period, I should say, beg your pardon. But the Wildcats, very good value for their lead, and they're getting some great goaltending from Austin Shaw. He made 2 absolutely world-class, remarkable saves. I don't care what league you're in, what level you're playing. That is one of the nicest saves you're ever going to see. We saw a great one last night from Eric Hancock and Brookings for the Blizzard as he reached back with his stick to sweep it off the line. But that one, my goodness, robbing the league's leading goal scorer from point-blank range after he had gotten faked out. Well, while I wistfully collect my thoughts about that one, we're going to turn our attention to that game last night. The Wildcats got things started well, and this will serve as a reminder. Last night's contest will serve as a reminder for the Wildcats that the work is not done despite the 4-0 lead through 40 minutes of action. This is if the Wildcats can post up a solid third period. This will be the best 60-minute effort we've seen from them in quite some time, but more work to do before we get there. Either way, let's revisit last night's contest. Pap going to take the draw against Wickline. Bringing them together is Greco, the referee, and the puck is down. We are underway in one of the biggest series to date in the season. Right away, the Wildcats control. Black, Subri out there with Oakley and Whitfiak. Against Cody Wickline. One here by Wickline. He'll play this one off the glass. Now look out. Springing forward. Here's Roman Uchin. Uchin with a step shot. Save fought off there by Zebnik. This one's sent all the way down the ice. No icing here. Wildcats, but Townsend won that race. Now Boyle looks to start it forward. Here's Apap gaining the zone, taking it wide. Apap, top of the circle, shot saved there by Black. Behind the net, Boyle ridden off it. Yeager up to the point. Azanaro quickly along. Townsend slap shot deflected, scores! Townsend on a blast from the blue line. Might have been tipped in front. Just over 3 minutes played, and the Wildcats take the lead. Alex Carl. Carl wasn't able to beat this puck back there. Cook sweeps this one long. Funny bounce off a glass support. The Wildcats poke it free. Here's Staub. Could be a 2-on-1. Staub. Lazarus in the middle. Over for Lazarus. And he hit the post as it was just off the glove of TJ Black. Wildcats hold the zone. Whitfiak towards the front of the net. Clear, not out. Here is Cook. Holding shot. Scores! Cook from the top of the circle. 2-0 Cats. Just 5.5 minutes in. 2 goals from the blue line in the first 5.5 minutes from the Wildcats. And that is a new record for points in a single season by a Wildcats defenseman. On the goal is Matt Cook. Holds. Slap shot still holds. Now on to his deep partner, Carl. Shot towards the net. Deflected attempt there. And Zebnik made the save on Egan. Cleared up to the point. Carl along for Sanderson near side blue line. Sanderson puts on the brakes. Now holds on a slap shot to the middle. He goes. Gave it along for Carl. Shot scores. Third goal of the game. Third one from the blue line. And it's 2-1. Carl picks up his first career point and first career goal as he sneaks one by Zebnik to make it 2-1. Walk around Kuzmeski there. It's loose in the corner in the last 8 seconds of the penalty kill. Trying to spin this one towards the front of the net with Warrep. Kuzmeski clears, not out. Puck loose in front of the net. Shot scores. Broken play. The Wildcats just couldn't clear. I don't know if that'll be a power play goal. There are zeros on the clock, but the Wildcats had a chance to get the crucial clear, and they couldn't do it. They did all the hard work, but at the end, the Brahmas tie. Townsend are out there in the last 20 of the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. 8 minutes remaining in the second period. 2-2 the score, but rushing along, here's Egan. Townsend separated him from the puck, steps onto it, clears, but won't escape the blue line. Solovyev near side. Now it's Steen. His shot blocked in front there. Holding onto it, here's Steen. One-timer scores! It was a knuckle puck from the blue line. Zebnik beaten with 3 seconds remaining on the power play, and the Wildcats have given the 2-goal lead away. They trail 3-2. Morrow. Now it's Oakley. Litviak settles through the middle of the ice. Litviak 1-on-2. Toe drag here by Litviak. Upended. Puck is loose here as stepping onto it. It's Baum. His pass is intercepted. Hogan Davidson on a breakaway. Azanaro tries to get back. Shot, save, rebound. Puck is off its, or the net is off its moorings. Zevnik just got truck sticked by Davidson. Subri hustling after this one. Johan Steen back in his own zone as Subri peels off on the forecheck. Oakley and Subri out there right now. Baum couldn't get to this one. Puck loose, they score. Oh, what a brutal play at the blue line. It trampolined back into the neutral zone. Baum left flat-footed, waving at it at the blue line. Capitalizing was Ludwig Larson, and it's 4-2. We're going to see potentially a goaltending change here. Zevnik is still in the cage to my right. Shaw is out limbering up, however. You know, I have to say, on David Zevnik's behalf, he's been left out to dry on 2 of the 4 goals he's allowed, but we are going to see a goaltending change. Austin Shaw will take over. 15:27 remaining in the third, as the faceoff will be to the right of TJ Black. Farmer out there with Oakley on his right. And Alex Falconer, Cam Matt Cook are the defensive pairing right now. Here's Steen, wrapped it around the boards, but Cook holds it in. Into the corner where it's Farmer. Farmer, here's Townsend in space, loading shot, save, rebound, scores! Farmer on the back door, sweeps home the rebound. The Wildcats are within 1, 15-16 remaining in this third period. They got the puck up to the blue line. Townsend got it on net. Black made the save, but Farmer swats home the rebound. Away from a on-rushing Paul Subri. Wildcats are able to gain the zone, however, only momentarily, as on the second attempt, Litviak gains his own, fed forward. Here's Reisinger, loading shot! Oh, he hit the bar! Litviak over skates. Reisinger slammed it off the post. Black comes out of his cage to leave it there. Lazarus hooked towards the middle, not a Wildcat in front, as Black had left his cage dangerously. Stannison fighting off the forechecking Eric Yeager. This one cleared as it works its way into the neutral zone. Townsend tries to pick his pocket. Vidmar spun it along. Here's Larson. Shot, scores! Hat trick for Larson. Vidmar held play up at the blue line, and the Wildcats are down by 2 again. This one is fed down the ice. Here's Egan. Clean break all alone. Egan shot, scores! He beats Shaw past the right pad, and this is exactly how the Brahmas beat you. They sit back, they absorb the pressure, they spring you, and they're opportunistic as heck. 2 shots, 2 goals, 6-3. 10 seconds remaining in the third. APAP below the goal line there. To the corner it goes in the last 5. Bolio, now it's Knight. Knight along for Townsend. Townsend wheels on his backhand save, and there's the horn. Tech Center, Ben Horner with you, Wildcats fans. You just heard highlights from last night's 6-3 loss. A good reminder that the Wildcats still have work to do here. Yes, they are 4 goals to the good, but this is a Brahmas squad that is averaging 3.62 goals per game, and they are certainly capable of exploding for goals in quick succession, as the Wildcats saw last night. Let's take a look at what's going on around the North American Hockey League. I already alerted you to a couple of finals earlier on. Keystone finishes up the sweep with a 4-1 win in Michigan in Flint over the Warriors. Janesville finishes their sweep as well, 6-4 over the Sioux Eagles. Janesville continuing to dominate the North Division. They have now won 8 straight and 18 of their last 19. They are now 33, well, 21 points clear of the Keystone Ice Miners. I beg your pardon. Minnesota. The Magicians are playing host to the Austin Bruins. 5-1. Austin holding the lead in the second half of the third period there. Johnstown up 4-2, trying to hold on for the 3-game sweep over the Springfield Junior Blues in a big series with playoff implications in the North Division. Two teams tied on 40 points for the fourth and final playoff spot. We'll keep an eye on that one. There's about 4 minutes left. In Bismarck, the Bobcats continue to trail 4-1 to the Aberdeen Wings as Aberdeen looks to salvage out a split. In Brookings, 4-2 in favor of the Minot Minotauros, who lost last night 4-3 for just their third regulation loss since the middle of December. Later on this evening, Cooley Region is in Fairbanks finishing up a 3-game set, and Kenai River plays host to Wenatchee to round out their 3-game set as well. In the South Division, it's 2-2 between Amarillo and the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. They're in the second intermission there. It's getting late in Odessa. The Jackalopes are putting it to the Ice Rays and giving them everything they've got. It's 4-3 with about 4 minutes remaining in the third period there. Christian Hausinger has 2 goals for Odessa. Ryan Kuz and Anthony Cortez, Connor Kelly, and Mason Kruger have the goals for the Ice Rays. That'll do it for the Jerry Sporting Goods Out-of-Town Scoreboard Report, and that'll do it on the Intermission Report. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have the third period of action as the Wildcats try to close out this 4-0 lead and turn it into 2 points here in North Richland Hills. Back after this, as Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing, will continue on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Back here in North Richland Hills, third period, dead ahead between the Wildcats and the Lone Star Brahmas. Wildcats 4, Brahmas nothing as we enter the final frame, but still work to do for Wichita Falls to see this one out. This is a Brahmas squad that has not lost a game in regulation at home, and they are hoping to keep that streak going tonight. And as we saw last night, this team can score in bunches, so the Wildcats need to keep the pressure up and perform in the same way they did in the first two periods, because that was stellar hockey from Wichita Falls. They also got some great saves. Puck is down, we're underway in the third period, brought to you by American Classified, as right away this one is rimmed around the boards. Cook on the far side here as the Cats skate from left to right, Q to P across your keyboard. Cook is able to just work this one up ahead to Bolio, who ramped it into space. Stop, tried to chip it along there. Bolio helps out as well. Loose puck is settled by the Brahmas in their own zone as Walrab plays this one softly up ahead for Larson. Larson gains the zone at the left wing circle. Larson's shot saved there and held by Austin Shaw as he caught that one in the crook of his blocker and trapped it. 19:33 remaining in the second, and as we see Jake Kupski in the net to our right, let's get you his numbers. Kupski on the year after relieving TJ Black in that second, 11-4-1 with a 2.19 goals against average and a 9.06 save percentage. At home, he is 9-0-0 with a 1.80 goals against and a 9.06 save percentage. As faceoff will come to the right of Austin Shaw. Wildcats are able to control. It's Alex Falconer who played this one along. Not out. Sanderson holds this one in. Sanderson walks towards the middle. His shot blocked there. Now Farmer thought about trying to split them. Instead starts a 3-on-2. Risinger in the middle. Here's Farmer. Cranks one. Steered wide there on a good pad save by Kupski. Farmer pinned into the wall here in the near side corner. Gets a little extra shot from Hansen up around the shoulders. Getting a bump there as well was Risinger. As springing this one free, it's Oscar Andrin. Pass floated over the stick of Falconer. Egan racing along there. Bomb swept it along as Risinger plays this up ahead. It was into the neutral zone. Farmer wasn't able to corral that pass as the Wildcats finish up their change and the Brahmas get one going as well. Risinger kicked that one along. He wasn't able to control it. No icing here as the Cats finish up their change. Intercepted by Litviak in the offensive zone. He'll protect. Look to play it along to the blue line instead. Spins it away. Walled off it, but Lazarus comes along and chips below the goal line to the corner. Yeager pressures Carroll there. Carroll spun away from the forecheck. Got it along to Carl. Headman pass for Vanderbeek too far. And this will be icing here as Townsend was the first back to it with 95 seconds played in the third period. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. The Wildcats, when leading after two periods of play, 22-1-0. The Brahmas 1-9-0 when trailing after two, but as I've said and as I'll continue to say, still work to be done if you're the Wildcats. Off the face-off, glove down here by Steen in his own zone. Unable to get things going on the forecheck was Lazarus. This one is swatted out of play. Dikembe Mutombo style by Austin Azanaro as that goes into the Brahmas net and he shakes a little finger, says no. 18-19 remaining in the third. Face-off upcoming. It'll be in the neutral zone here. No, they'll keep this one in the Wildcats offensive zone as bit of a break there. Both teams will change, however, as Hinchin is out there with Subri and Oakley. Townsend and Azanaro are the blue liners. Off is one cleanly to the corner by the Brahmas. Subri wasn't able to get a stick to that one. Off to the near side, Vanderbeek holding on it there. Oakley wasn't able to strip that puck as Steen takes it behind the net. Steen pass through the middle of the ice. Subri wasn't able to corral that one as this is all the way down the ice. As an arrow again goes in awkward to the boards. Not for the first time tonight, but the Brahmas still have the puck. Walking into the middle. Here's Romanuchin teeing up a one-timer that goes high and gets the glass. Karams all the way down the ice as Shaw was moving from right to left to cover that one up. Kupski quickly up ahead for Vanderbeek as they tried to catch the Wildcats in a change. Vanderbeek rattles this one along the glass and the kick point there. It's swept up there by Cook. Bolio is able to clear this one into some space as Apap steps onto it. Here's Apap, gets around a man, hooked in front there for Colin Staub, who was hooked off it. No call upcoming here. Bolio played it behind. Apap going in there, wasn't able to win that race to it as now Colin Staub gets involved. He'll tie it up. Apap swung up to the point. Knight got some traffic in front and that's kicked away there on a good right pad save by Kupski. Apap finishes his check along the far side wall. Vanderbeck swept it along one-handed, but Cam Knight gloves it down and moved it to Staub. Staub to the middle of the ice for Farmer. Onside play. Farmer is forced to the corner after he couldn't control cleanly. He'll sweep it along down deep. Davidson going in there as Falconer gets involved for the Wildcats. Falconer separates his man from the puck. Reisinger knocks it towards the corner. 3 minutes played in this third period as the Wildcats are trying to keep this one at 4-0 or maybe stretch the advantage. Reisinger leaves this one behind. He's got a pair of assists tonight as this is played in deep here. Cam Knight having to hustle back as Carreras was there as well. Knight ties this one up. Looks to sweep it along there to Reisinger. He'll collect it on the near side and work up the defensive half wall. Chips it high off the glass. That's off the glove of Sanderson, so no icing here as it came up short of the red line anyway. Sanderson kicked it along there. Nice keep of possession by the Swede as Lone Star looks to set things up. They're going to be opening this one up. Headman passes galore, you're going to see, as this is Kosmeski unable to play in deep. Carl swept it along. It's picked up here by Hansen as Hansen now walks forward and gives to Larson. Larson tries to line up and get around Kosmeski, and a good recovering hip check there by Shane as a loose puck is stepped onto here by Yeager. Might be a 3-on-2. Lazarus with a couple of Brahmas getting back. Lazarus played towards the front there, and it went wide of the sweeping stick of Kupski. Litviak was the closest to it on the far side. Loose puck stepped onto here. This is Carl getting hacked at nicely by Litviak, trying to force a turnover. Good dogged work here by Litviak in the offensive zone as the Wildcats are able to hold play down low. Yeager and Litviak thought about pursuing. They'll come to the bench for a change instead. Intercepted here by Oakley on a big headman pass. Oakley walking in, shot, saved. Oh, and it went through the 5-hole and skittered out the other side from Kupski. Subri wanting it in the middle was Hinchin instead to the point. Now it's Townsend holding on it. Townsend towards the net, saved. Puck is loose. Saved once more as Oakley was reaching for it on the backhand. Oakley, bad angle stuff attempt. They'll jam for it, and it's picked up behind the net. Play it up the wall, and Lone Star will start the rush. This is Walrab now, walking into the middle. Walrab, top of the left circle, took a little stick hack, skittering puck here. It's on the cage of Shaw, and he'll glove that one between the legs of Azanaro. 15:07 remaining in the third. The Wildcats leading 4-0 here as Lone Star attempting to open things up in this third period. They need goals quick, and they need them in quick succession as well. They're going to go for the headman pass more than they like to anyway to try to stretch things out from coast to coast. Face off to the right of Shaw, who's made 20 saves thus far tonight. Washed out of the draw here is going to be Wickline, so Egan will step in. Face-off, one here by the Wildcats. Bolio off the glass, only as far as Giles, just inside the blue line. Egan serves it around the boards. Cook racing along to meet it on the far side in his defensive corner. Cook chips softly forward. That eludes everybody in the neutral zone. Solovyev has it and plays this one off the boards and in. Cook softly back behind. It's taken by Cam Knight. Knight spins off the check of Egan. Nicely there by Cam Knight as this is Bolio trying to clear it. Lost it in his skates. This is picked up by Giles below the goal line. Bank attempt goes wide as trying to stuff it home on a backhand wrap chance was Wickline. Karam's up to the blue line where Giles plays it back down low. Intercepted by Apap in the corner as Apap looks to walk it forward. His pass for Staub. That was off the glass. Staub looking to step onto the loose puck. 1-on-5 he skates and swats it towards the corner as the Cats were changing. Falconer comes in on the forecheck here. Pass is intercepted in the neutral zone by Farmer. Skated back and collected by Andren, who moved it along to Giles. Looking to pick out a headman pass was Sanderson. Egan wasn't able to collect it, so Sanderson skates up to the red line and dumps in deep. First to it here below the goal line. This is Baum and Kosmeski for the Wildcats. Softly up the wall. Falconer is able to chip that one into some space. He'll work it along for Reisinger. Reisinger left it behind here. He'll protect, serve it back into some space, which will allow his teammates to recollect and get on side. Baum bumped down from behind after he played that one in deep. Left behind the cage of Kupski by Sanderson, or for Sanderson by Kupski. Holding on a headman pass, now letting one go as Hansen intercepted here. Townsend skates down the right wing wall. Townsend drops, Reisinger shot, saved there. Rebound juggled, but held by Kupski. 13:33 remaining in the third period as the Wildcats are leading 4-0 here. They are still putting some pressure on Kupski, and we see Davidson trying to get a rise out of Nikita Litviak. Litviak smarter than that, as Davidson realized he wasn't going to get much of a rise out of him, so he'll skate away. Yeager washed out of the draw, so it'll be Lazarus against Davidson to the left of Kupski. with 6.5 played in this third period. Townsend wheeling towards the middle of the ice. Now back towards the right wing wall. He'll play it towards the corner. Jaeger tacked it along. It's Lazarus to the blue line. Townsend goes back down the wall again. It was at midair, so Jaeger wasn't able to collect it. Lazarus stumbles as an arrow towards the net, and it's wide of the cage. Jaeger was camped out in the slot. He wasn't able to get a stick to that one, as this is Carreras unable to reach a pass. Townsend on another good skate there. He has it kicked away from here. Can't find the loose puck. He gets some help from Jaeger, and he'll clear it off the glass. Not out. Carreras hooked along there by Litviak. Loose puck here. Fishing for it is Townsend. Locks his man up as Lazarus gets involved. Litviak pulls the puck free. He'll look to get motor to the red line and play in deep. Still in possession. Litviak, he'll take it wide instead and wait for reinforcements here. Looks to play it along the blue line for Knight and does. Knight slap shot. Saved there through a screen by Kupski. Oakley tried to go up the wall. Swept up to the point. Knight holds on it towards the net. Subari in front for a deflection, as was Oakley, and none was forthcoming. Cook on the far side. He'll walk it towards the corner. Plays towards the front of the net as reaching for it there was Kupski. Glove end effort went wide, or was for naught as it went wide, and it's back into the neutral zone. Cook, he didn't get to the red line here, but they'll wave off the icing as Carl hammers this one around the boards. Larson, and now it's Vidmar who leaves it softly up ahead for Larson, motoring forward, trying to get around Knight. Shot in the glove, save there by Austin Shaw as Larson was skating right to left, tried to shoot left to right. Shaw equal to the task. 12:06 remaining in the third as the Wildcats still hold their 4-0 lead. Stuff will be to the right of Austin Shaw, who was nothing short of spectacular in that second period, with the score still 1-0 and then 2-0. With a couple of massive saves. Punched this one free and wasn't able to get onto the loose puck. Neither was Bolio, as Solovyev uses a screen from a teammate and plays this one in deep. Larson down below the goal line, hoping for Vidmar. He couldn't corral. Now Apap will get pressed into the boards, but not before he spun it along for Staub to pursue. Solovyev up to the blue line. It's held here by Vidmar. Walks in, shot off a stick and goes up and out of play. Getting a stick in the shooting lane, I believe, was Apap pursuing up to the top of the zone. 11:42 remaining in the third as the Wildcats lead 4-0. One thing we're seeing the Wildcats do much more successfully tonight is pursue their man all the way to the zone, to the completion of the play, not letting the man slip away unmarked. That happened a few times last night. Clearly, the video session this morning was taken to heart by the Wildcats. Once they're taking their man in the defensive zone, they are not letting him go. Which is not to say they're taking holdings, it's just to say that they're marking them. Either way, a headman pass eludes everyone, but it's swatted back in deep by the Brahmas. First to it here for the Wildcats will be as an arrow. Bumped along, hoping for Townsend in some tight quarters. He got it for Reisinger. He lost out on the puck, did Max. Up to the point, Sanderson deflected and fought off in front. Bouncing puck is still loose, and Townsend has it for the Wildcats. Shaw with a good reaction, save to punch that one away on the gloved hand. Reisinger can't work this one up over the blue line as Farmer tries to work free. Egan still holds. Farmer intercepts now and gives it to Falconer. Falconer will look to skate this one wide. He'll kill off some more time and play it down the ice with 9 minutes gone in the third period. Headman pass for Egan. He'll jab this one along to negate the icing, but that put it right into the path of Cam Knight. Knight up ahead for Colin Staub. He'll gain the zone at the right wing side. From the circle, his shot goes wide. Apap on the far side, played behind for Staub. Staub looking to hook out in front there. He'll lose out, but Bolio ramps it up to the point. Cook towards the net, deflected there, and Apap just couldn't direct it on cage. Uchin will settle, clears, just skips over the blue line, but Bolio recorrals for the Wildcats and will roll this one softly in to kill off a few more seconds. 10:30 remaining in the third period. Litviak coming in on a hard forecheck there. At the end of his shift was Hansen. That almost allowed Litviak to pick this one up, but now Carroll gallops forward. Here's Carroll holding on it now. He'll take it below the goal line, fed towards the middle. Puck is loose, and it skitters wide of the cage as sticks were tied up. Oh, and getting away with a penalty there was Cam Knight, as down to the ice went Vanderbeek from behind. Uchin locked up there with Apap. Uchin looked to spin to the near side. Uchin looking to go all the way to the wall, and he does. Steen has some trouble with it here. Lazarus is just able to force it free. Now it's Cook in a 2-on-1 with Litviak to his left. Here's Cook in the circle. Shot, picking to the top corner, and a blocker save there as that one just went wide. Good shot there by Matt Cook as this is picked up by Lone Star. Skated forward. Here's Carroll. Backdoor pass. Hooked off it was Steen by Matt Cook. That'll draw a delayed penalty call, and we'll get the whistle as touching up were the Wildcats. 9:41 remaining in the third. A moment after Cook almost scored into the top corner, Kupski's forced him wide. He'll skate to the sin bin for two. It'll be a hooking call. And Cook is having some words with Greco and the linesman. Not sure what his case is, but either way, he'll sit for two with 9:41 remaining in the third. Cats are 1 for 1 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill, as they killed off a minor to Austin as an arrow, a hooking minor in the first, as this one is on the stick of Staub, and he'll start things off well on the PK and send it the length of the ice. 9.5 remaining in the third, as the Wildcats still lead by 4. Brahmas on the power play, looking to swoop it forward. Drop pass here by Larson. Vidmar skates onto it in stride. Gaining the zone is Vidmar, off to the right wing side. Solovyev under some pressure. Farmer in front of him. Here is Larson into the middle of the slot. Larson, shot, deflected, and it went wide. Shaw saw that one late. Hammered around the boards there. Squirts loose for Sanderson. He chipped it past off. Backdoor, they score! It's Walrab on the power play. Shutout bid over for Shaw. He'll get the goal. It's 4-1. Walrab gets a power play goal. The Wildcats almost cleared it. Townsend hammered it around the boards. Staub couldn't reach it to clear it out. And skating out of the corner was Walrab, as that is Walrab's first career goal. So they'll collect the puck for him. 9:05 remaining in the third. The Wildcats still some work to do now. Their lead has been cut from 4-0 to 4-1. As they need to make sure that they stay within their game plan, don't fall back into a shell, and invite pressure on themselves. This is a Brahmas team that'll score quick if given the opportunity. The Wildcats need to make sure they just don't give them the opportunity. We're in a delay here because Lone Star, like many other teams in the South Division, throw things onto the ice after every single goal, thus disrupting the flow of every contest anytime they put one in the back of the net. Amarillo, Odessa, Corpus Christi even. The Wildcats, Wenatchee, and Rio Grande Valley are the only teams that don't do it, as they recognize the purity that is hockey. The only time things should be thrown onto the ice is when someone nets a hat trick. Either way, everything is finally getting cleaned up. Shaw was remarkable in the second, probably deserved a shutout tonight, but that one tipped by him. It would have taken something Herculean for him to come up with that save, as someone lost Walrab as he skated out of the corner and he tipped it home. So the Wildcats get burned on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. Now 1 for 2 on the night are the Cats. We'll get back to play here eventually. It'll be Subri to take the draw, going against Cody Wickline. 9:05 remaining in the third. Cats' lead has been cut from 4-0 to 4-1. Give them a little reminder that they still got some work to do here, as this one is swatted in, but fanning on it there with the Brahmas. Instead, it's on the stick of Giles. Oakley coming in on a hard forecheck there. He'll spin around Hansen, Will Giles, and start this one forward. Wrapped hard around the boards there. First to it on the near side. Andren will take it, trying to chip it past Cam Knight. Two-a-side battle develops in the corner here. Trying to work it free are the Brahmas. It's on the stick of Egan, looking to tug it out in front. Was Uchin there, but Cook overskates this one. Loose puck in the slot. It's skated onto by Cam Knight. Knight will get to the red line. Now skates it in on the left side. Knight, shot, glove save there by Kupski. Not a bad effort with 8:29 remaining in the third. Wildcats are leading 4-1. Walrab's goal on the power play has cut their lead as we get into a media timeout here in the NITEC Center. Ben Horner with you, coming to you live from North Richland Hills this evening, as Wildcats are closing out a two-game set against the Brahmas. They lost 6-3 last night. They took a 1-0 lead just 15 seconds into tonight's contest on Austin Bolio's tally on the first shot of the game. That's goal number 16 for Austin B. Have to clarify, because there are 5 Austins on this Wildcats roster. Then in the second period, Colin Staub from Austin Bolio made it 2-0 after Shaw made a world-class save to rob Sebastian Vidmar in close. Then Alex Falconer, less than 80 seconds later, scored his 9th of the year, sniping the far post. before Jake Townsend tacked on a fourth at the end of the period with 1:03 remaining from Max Reisinger on a big blast through traffic. Storm Walrab on an unassisted power play goal. Well, that's not right. They'll add assists eventually. Either way, he has the Wildcats looking over their shoulder a little bit as the faceoff will be in the offensive zone of the Cats. To Kupski's right. Yeager out there with Lazarus and Litviak to take the draw. I thought Lazarus has had a better game tonight than he has the last few weeks. Good to see him get back on the good side of things here as Litviak tangles with his man and goes down to the ice. Sent all the way down here by Lone Star. Should be icing, will be icing, as Kosmeski is the first back to it here. 8:19 remains in the third, and as Lone Star is chasing this game a little bit, needing 3 goals in the last 8:19, which is not unheard of by any stretch. They're stretching out the play, trying to go north and south as much as possible. And they're camping guys out just at the far blue line, hoping one of these passes will click and really make things nervy for the Cats at the end here. Here is Baum towards the net, wide of the cage. Following up is Lazarus on the near side half wall, getting worked over here. He'll play it along for Yeager before he went down to the ice. Yeager plays it along the boards to the far side. Litviak ties up as we hit 8 minutes even remaining in this third period. Kicked along here by the Wildcats. That was nicely done there by Lazarus. Litviak. Lazarus pulls it free and will jam it back into traffic to tie things up. It squirts free finally for Hansen. Banking here, hoping for Vanderbeck. Trying to beat the racing is Vanderbeck, but Kosmeski has a big loping, speedy stride in his own right. Was able to beat Vanderbeck out back there easily enough. That draws the icing whistle with 7:50 remaining in the third. And if the Wildcats, knowing that Lone Star is going to stretch play and be willing to concede the icing, if the Wildcats could pop one off an offensive zone faceoff, boy, what a boost that would be. Apap tied up here, but he forced it back to the point as an arrow. Now it's Townsend softly towards the net. Kupski steered it wide. Apap first to it here for Wichita Falls. Behind the net here is Staub to the point. He's an arrow wide of the cage there. Boyle couldn't get a stick to it on a deflection. Apap wasn't able to get this one up to Townsend. Townsend, though, will send this back in deep. Wildcats tag up on a delayed offside. We're seeing the center for the Wildcats drop back to play that on the blue line with the 2 defensemen here, as this is Townsend in his own zone, or rather in the neutral zone, having some trouble with it, but Apap there to support, slots it along farther. 7:15 remaining in the third. This is worked along here by Hansen. Skated in. His pass for Vanderbeck was intercepted, and now it's on the stick of Falconer. Over the red line goes Alex, and he'll play to the far side rather than the near side corner. Steen reverse it along, hoping for a teammate. Farmer, the first to it here, sends it back whence it came below the goal line. It goes Reisinger in front. Falconer, his shot, loose puck there as Falconer had it on his offhand. This is Reisinger below the goal line there, battling through the check there, ties his man up momentarily, but Vidmar steps onto the loose puck. Falconer hauled him down. No call up coming here as Reisinger skates onto a loose puck. Steps through some traffic, gave it along for Cook as we hit 6.5 minutes remaining in this third period as the Cats lead by 3. Cam Knight didn't like the avenues in front of him, so he'll wheel it back, play it softly along for Austin Hinchin. Hinchin plays this one down the wall. Hansen the first to it here, cranked around the boards. Funny bounce off a seam, sees a carom right forward for Vidmar. Oakley hacks at him. Offside play here as Larson touches up, and we'll get the whistle. 6:17 remaining in the third, and as the Wildcats lead 4-1, no matter what happens from here on out, to this point, to a man, the Wildcats have been playing remarkable defense. There's been a few lapses, but they're covering for one another very well, and they're all playing with a collective intensity that's been missing from certain spots in the roster over the last few weeks as the Wildcats have looked to right the ship defensively speaking. Here's Jeff Baum looking to jab this one forward. Subri ties up there as well. Puck is loose, walking it free. Here's the Brahmas Davidson. Can't chip this one along towards net. Up to the blue line here is Carl. Shot deflected, punched down in front by Shane Kosmeski. And Kosmeski will ladle it along for Hinchin. Hinchin gets it to the red line. On his backhand, he'll play in deep. Kupski swept it along there to the near side, trying to meet it with Subri. He spun his man off it. Kosmeski steps down and keeps play moving as the Wildcats have possession, but now lose out in the form of Davidson. Kosmeski still has it. Shot saved by Kupski as Oakley got in front. 5:41 remaining in the third. The Wildcats are leading 4-1. They are out shooting the Brahmas 35-23 in this game. This is the most shots on goal allowed in a game by the Brahmas this year is 38. Wildcats 3 shy of tying that mark as Yeager takes the draw in the offensive zone to the left of Kupski. One back to the point, swept along. Here is Cook, holding shot, walk down in front. Litviak, shot goes wide of the cage on a follow-up attempt. That was Cook on the initial effort. This one hammered down the glass. Cook will take it off a funny carom and play it through a seam. Down the ice it goes. It's on the cage of Kupski though, so we play on. No icing. Giles in his own zone, looks to turn up the ice. Banked it along for Egan there. Cook intercepts, and it's Litviak. He had some trouble with it there. As coming back to spike it away was Oscar Andrin. Solovyev through the middle of the ice. Chipped away here by Lazarus. As fanning at this one, here's Egan. Quick shot and a glove save by Shaw. That one might have been going wide. Knight had fanned on it as it skittered by him, but Shaw was equal to the task. With 5:04 remaining in the third, he'll have to deal with a defensive zone draw coming to the right. Coming to his right, that's the near side in the Wildcats defensive zone down to our left. Brahmas have pulled one back in this period, a power play goal from Storm Walrab. This one back to the point, Steen. Shot goes high and gets the glass as Bolio tries to clear the zone on the far side. He couldn't do it. Townsend has it here. Vanderbeck took it away from him. Carroll below the goal line. Hook towards the middle. Shot. Save there. Point blank off the stick of Uchin on the left pad of Austin Shaw. Apap doggedly digging for this one. Townsend reversed it around. Steen trying to hold it in. He was able to do so in front of Colin Staub. This is Vanderbeck. In front. They score. It's Uchin. 4:41 remaining in the third. And the Wildcats have more work to do. Their lead is cut to 2. Roman Uchin picks up goal number 9 on the year. That is his second goal of the year against the Wildcats, and now almost 4 games. As Wichita Falls has kind of sat back, invited the pressure. Well, no, that's not fair to say. They are out shooting Lone Star 10-6. Well, make that 10-7 in this third. But the Brahmas are knocking on the door a little bit here. As they clean up the items thrown onto the ice, gives us an opportunity to remind you that Black was replaced by Kupski in the net to our right. Shaw got the start tonight. Wildcats trying to lock things down here. They led 4-0 at the start of this period. Brahmas have scored a power play goal and now a 5-on-5 goal. As we'll have a center ice face-off to get us going in the last 4.5 and change of this contest. This is Townsend, softly into some space for Farmer, who would love an insurance tally. Farmer with a head full of steam. In front, Farmer had it jabbed away on the last second by Hayden Hansen. Not for the first time we've seen Farmer try to turn that corner this weekend and this year. That's his favorite move. Farmer on a dogged forecheck, though, as Vidmar skates past. Vidmar chips into the corner. First to it here will be Vidmar as he got possession in front of Azanaro. Skated along here by Farmer. Up ahead, it's Eric Yeager. Yeager will get to the red line. What do? He'll float it to the far side corner and curl to the bench for a change. Vidmar camped out at the far blue line. His home run pass was off a skate as Hansen will re-corral on his own end. Inside the last 4 of this third, Wildcats' lead has been cut down to 4-2. Trying to toe drag was Walrab. Here's Larson. Larson still on the puck. Larson shot, punched away there on the blocker hand by Austin Shaw. Puck loose in the Wildcats defensive zone. Trying to dig it free. It's on the stick of Cook. Cook has some trouble with it there as losing out. It's Larson. His pass in front. Cook. And his pass was held in by Giles. Giles below the goal line for Vidmar. Hinching out there for the Wildcats. Put it into the path of Cook. Cook leads this one along offside and a broken play and a break for the Wildcats. Hartman emphatic on the call. Vidmar emphatic. He got it wrong. Not surprisingly, the player's argument falls on deaf ears, and we'll get a neutral zone face-off with 3:25 remaining in the third. Wildcats led 4-0 entering this third period. Their lead is now 4-2 as the Brahmas try to answer back. They overturned a 3-0 deficit in a game against Wenatchee earlier this month. The Wildcats trying to prevent themselves from being the next victim. APAP, nice clean win there as it has an arrow, giving it along to Townsend. Townsend softly ahead, skittered off a body in front. APAP walks in. APAP left it behind here. Can't re-corral the puck as Austin Bolio steps onto a loose disc in the neutral zone. Stop. We'll play this softly down the ice. We'll start to keep an eye on Kupski in the Brahmas net as we hit the last 3 minutes of play in the Wildcats, or in the third period here. Vanderbeck, that one hit the referee or the linesman Anderson not once but twice, and it's led softly behind the cage as Azanaro gives it up ahead to Bolio. Kupski had started to come towards the bench, retreated a bit. Vanderbeck has this one here, tries to dump this one in deep, unable to fish it all the way into the corner as Staub clears, rolls softly down the ice. Net empty to our right. Wildcats lead is 2 as Vanderbeck skates this one in. He left it behind though, has to re-corral. This is Vanderbeck, now walking towards the middle. He'll give it to Steen, cranks one around the boards. Trying to meet it on the near side, it's Farmer, rolled up the wall. It's on the stick of Yeager. Yeager leads it along for Falconer. Empty net in front. Falconer hacks at it, couldn't get it into the offensive zone, but we're going to get a whistle. It's going to be too many men on the ice. Oh, hang on a sec. Oh boy, Greco. Oh, Greco's got egg on his face here, folks. He called it too many men on the ice penalty against the Brahmas, not realizing that they had pulled the goalie. The puck was loose in the neutral zone. What will they do here? Will they wipe the penalty off? Can they wipe the penalty off? They are going to wipe the penalty off. Greco's saying, now hang on a second, it's on me. Now giving an explanation to head coach Jean LaFontaine. So Greco, losing sight of the situation, didn't realize that the goalie had been pulled. Kupski with a faceoff coming right at center ice, retreats into his cage. 2:22 remaining in the third as Wildcats are holding a 4-2 lead. And I do mean holding. Clinging might be the operative word right now as Lone Star is ramping up the pressure. Off one clean by the Wildcats as Cam Knight has it. Chipped it softly forward for Staub, who looks to get to the red line. Can't get this puck in deep. It's on the stick of Vidmar. Nice check there by Bolio as Staub will float this softly down the ice. That chases Kupski back into his cage as we hit 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Still a lot of time here for the Brahmas though. Larson looking to get around Colin Staub and does. Larson into the corner shot off a bad angle. Off a stick in front or off the outside of the cage. Or where they put the face off as it went out of play. 1:54 remaining in the third. Faceoff will be out in the neutral zone as Greco overrules his linesman Hartman. With 1:54 remaining in the third, Wildfong not enamored with that decision, but unsurprisingly, Greco will not reverse his call, though he did just a moment ago. Anyway, we move on. Farmer to take the draw out there with Subri and Oakley, Kosmeski and Townsend, and now Greco's going to get overruled by his linesman. This is turning into a blush fest for Greco. In the last 2 minutes, he's been overruled by his linesman, which is okay. Sometimes the linesmen do have a better view of what transpired, but when you couple that with a too many men on the ice call that was not, that happened because he lost sight of the fact that the Brahmas pulled their goalie as Wildfang is standing on the dasher board on the far side. Not the best. Here's Steen towards the net, goes wide of the cage. First to it here on the near side. It's cleared off the glass, all the way down it goes. That'll be icing against the Cats with 1:45 remaining in the third. 4-2 is the score. The Wildcats trying to hold on to this contest. They took a 4-0 lead through 2 periods of play. The Brahmas have answered back with 2 in this frame from Walrab and Romanuchin to give the Wildcats a little bit of a nervy finish. And now the Wildcats are going to take their time out. Net is vacated to our right as the Wildcats enter a timeout here as we work our way towards the 10 o'clock hour here in Texas. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. If you're just joining us, you've missed a good one. It's been end-to-end back and forth, and despite the Wildcats taking a 4-0 lead in the second period, were it not for the stellar play of Shaw in that frame, this game could be much different. Although, the same could be said about TJ Black in the first when he faced a barrage of 17 shots and steered aside 16 of them. Unfortunately for TJ, he was not able to replicate that effort in the second. Kupski relieved TJ Black at the end of the second period. Kupski is now on the bench in favor of an extra attacker as the Brahmas are down by 2 in the last 2 minutes of the contest. Faceoff will be to the right of Austin Shaw. Wildcats are able to change out of that timeout despite the icing. Kosmeski and Townsend out there for the D-men. Staub, Farmer, and Apap. 3 guys who can take faceoffs just in case one gets washed out. Vidmar, Sanderson, Solovyev, Larson, Walrab, and Andren out there for the Brahmas. This one fed up the wall, not out. Skittering puck is punched, still not free. Now it's swatted down the ice, trickling towards the net. It'll come up short of the end line, but they'll still give the icing. Oh, my word. Incredibly generous call on the icing. 1:32 remaining in the third. Nick Farmer essentially stopped that one dead on the goal line, but it just got over the end line there. And giving the icing call was Hartman. Is Farmer to take the draw to the left of Shaw. Larson will take it against Farmer to the point. Here's Solovyev near side now. Sanderson, Vidmar holding his shot canceled out here nicely as now Apap clears this one out of the zone. It'll roll down the ice. Staub will put Sanderson under some pressure here. Turned over, Staub, empty net, holding, shot, canceled out in front. Apap trying to pick up the loose disc. 1:10 remaining, empty net as the Wildcats had the puck in the offensive zone, but Staub couldn't seal the affair. Up the ice, Kosmeski swats this one away on a good step. Sanderson back into his own zone. Staub on the forecheck here. Up the ice, it's Larson. Last minute of play in the period brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. This is Walrab gaining the zone. He'll put on the brakes and leave it for Andren there. Andren, pass in the middle. Larson scores! Colin Staub missed Larson skating through the middle, and it's 4-3. 50.5 seconds remaining. Been cutting into the lead all third period long. Staub had an opportunity to seal this one with an empty netter, but it was blocked on the goal line. 50.5 seconds remaining for the Wildcats to hang on. They led 4-0 entering this third. The Brahmas, as we knew they would, kept battling and have put the Wildcats under all sorts of pressure. And now, as they would say in England, it's going to be nervy, nervy moments for the Wildcats. So, Kupski will be relieved again, or will be relieved in favor of TJ Black. Not sure what this will accomplish. Either way, Black is back in there. Yeager will take the draw. He'll go against Larson. The Wildcats trying to kill this one off. False start on the faceoff. As that's too many men on the ice. That's too many men on the ice. They had the goalie on. They had 6 on for the Brahmas. That's too many men on the ice. That's a penalty against Lone Star. It should be a penalty against Lone Star. That's too many men on the ice at the faceoff. They got away with one. How do they not call that? How do you not call lining up with too many men on the ice? Either way, on the redo of the faceoff, this is Cam Knight playing this one down as TJ Black will look to come to the bench and does. Sanderson, Bolio has it, trying to dig it free was Cam Knight. Loose puck, it's Walrab, walking forward, Solovyev, forced off him. Solovyev dumps in deep. Cook has it, can't clear. Solovyev ramps down low. Vidmar is there. Here's Vidmar in the last 30, up to the blue line. Solovyev shot, skittering in front, saved by Shaw, and the loose puck is covered as Bolio takes a little shot from Walrab after the fact. 25.8 seconds remaining in the third. The 4-0 lead has been shrunk down to 4-3. Net empty to the right of us. 6 on for the Brahmas with the extra attacker. Farmer taking the draw against Larson. Canceled out. Behind the net it goes. Yeager rims it around the boards. Sanderson trying to hold it in here. Losing out as the Wildcats try to dig this one free. It's on the stick of Farmer. Sends it the length of the ice. Just wide of the cage. It'll be an icing with 11.9 remaining. It was just wide of the cage. And the Wildcats will have to deal with a defensive zone draw in the last 11-9 of this contest. Face-off coming to the right of Austin Shaw. The Brahmas have scored 3 in the last 9 minutes of this contest, the 9 minutes of this third. One back to the point. Sanderson, shot, blocked down in front. It's loose. They'll dig for it. Cancel down on a shot there. There's 3 seconds left. Off the outside of the cage. It's Vidmar in front. There's nobody home. And the Wildcats will win. They hold on at the last. A valiant comeback effort falls short for the Brahmas, and they are dealt their first regulation loss at the NYTEX Center. Just as last night, the big second period proves the difference. Only this time, it's the Wildcats coming out victorious. 4-3 the win for the Wildcats. They're back in the win column after 2 straight defeats, as they will head back to Wichita Falls, feeling good about themselves after turning over the Brahmas in their own building. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the recap, we'll break it all down, and we'll wrap things up, as the Wildcats are going to skate out of North Richland Hills with a 4-3 win. We'll be back in just a second as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will wrap up after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. At the NYTEX Center, we're putting the wrap on a thrilling, pulsating evening of hockey here in North Richland Hills. The Wildcats come away with a 4-3 win, and it looked like it was going to be smooth sailing heading into the third as they were up 4-0. But if you know the Lone Star Brahmas, you knew that that was not actually going to be, as the Wildcats gave up 3 in the third. Walrab, Uchin, and Larson all within the last 9 minutes and 5 seconds of the third. They also had a decent chance to try and tie it up at 4. And if you think back to all those massive saves that Shaw made in that second period, How large do those loom now? Sebastian Vidmar robbed point blank on the glove save. Pat Egan robbed by a diving, spinning, sprawling, cartwheeling effort from Austin Shaw. He'll pick up win number 17 on the year as the Wildcats get win number 28 on the year. Let's get you the scoring summary here as we wrap this one up in North Richland Hills, as the Wildcats will be licking their lips at another meeting against this Brahmas squad on Wednesday back at the K. Yeager Coliseum. First period, it took no more than 15 seconds to get the Wildcats in front, and it was the first shot of the game that saw it happen. It was Tommy Apap working the puck free along with Colin Staub on the forecheck. He fed it to the middle, and Austin Bolio picked his spot and hit it well as he beat TJ Black on the blocker's side. The Wildcats put up another 16 shots on goal in that period, but Black was equal to the task on all of them as the Wildcats led 1-0 entering the second. In that second, at about the halfway mark, the Wildcats sprung to life after Shaw had made those aforementioned remarkable saves. Staub took a loose puck into the neutral zone and collected it down nicely after Bolio had chipped it off the glass. Staub, with traffic in front of him, chipped the puck into some space, stepped onto it, and sent a little wrister that just snuck by TJ Black. I think it surprised him a little bit. He was not expecting Staub to shoot when he did, and that was enough for Colin to find the twine for the 15th time this year. And 18 seconds later, the Wildcats, or a minute and 28 seconds later, math not the strong suit of yours truly, a minute and 28 seconds later, Alex Falconer made it 3-0 Cats as he picked up the puck off a bank pass off the boards from Max Reisinger. He skated it in along the right wing side, cut towards the top of the circle, and then in stride, he let go a little wicked wrist shot that snuck inside the far post. That one made it 3-0. As time wound down in the second, Jake Townsend would make it 4-0. His big blast from the blue line snuck through a mess of bodies to make it 4-0 on goal number 10 of the year for Jake. That was his second of the weekend as well, as he had a very strong showing here as he continues to impress in his third full season in Wichita Falls. So the Wildcats skated into the third period with a 4-0 lead, and it seemed like it might have been easy goings, especially after they were pegging back chance after chance after chance. But Matt Cook took a hooking call at 10:19 of the third period. That put the Wildcats on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill as Walrab converted as he skated out of the corner uncontested and tipped home a slap pass from the blue line to make it 4-1. Sensing blood in the water, the Brahmas pushed things forward. Roman Uchin would make it 4-2 at 4:40 of the third as the Wildcats started to look over their shoulder a little bit. Then inside the last 2 minutes, Ludwig Larson picked up an extra attacker goal as he was able to jam one past Austin Shaw. It looked like the Wildcats were going to do the unthinkable, but the defense and Austin Shaw stood strong. They were able to do just enough to hack that one away, hack the loose puck away, and keep a chance from developing as the Wildcats would hang on for the win. So getting the loss tonight will be TJ Black, as he gave up all 4 goals. Black, with the loss, falls to 16-6-2. He is now 12-1 at home. Getting the win tonight is Austin Shaw, as he makes 26 saves on 29 shots. A few of those 26 saves, absolute world-class efforts from young Mr. Shaw out of Colorado. So, as I mentioned a moment ago, win number 17 on the year for Austin Shaw. With the win, the Wildcats improve to 28-12-0. They are now 25-11-0 in the division. They are 9-6-0 as away from home, not including the Blaine, Minnesota showcase back in September. With the loss, the Brahmas on the other side of things, they will fall to 27-10-3. They are now 21-2-1 at home, but moreover, they are 20-1-1 in the NYTEX Center, their first loss in regulation all season long. And although the Wildcats are happy they picked up the win, you do have to tip your cap and tap your stick to a streak that has stretched almost the entire length of a home schedule on a season. This was home game of 30. This was home game number 25 on the year for the Brahmas, and it was game number 24 at the NYTEX. Check that, 23 at the NYTEX Center out of 28 here in this building in North Richland Hills. And to go that long without giving up a regulation loss, that is quite a feat. This is going to be a tough Brahmas team to face in this building come playoff time, and you can be sure the Wildcats are not going to want to have to deal with that one. Let's take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard to see what else has been developing around the North American Hockey League, as we'll limit it to the South Division in this go-around. It is 4-2 in favor of Amarillo. They get the win and salvage the split. In Odessa, Corpus Christi finishes off the 3-game road sweep. They have now won 5 of their last 6 road games and 4 straight overall. Corpus Christi is starting to surge a little bit here. Wildcats are looking over their shoulder a little bit, but they keep ahead of the Ice Rays. Wildcats now have 56 points. That puts them one back of the Brahmas, who have 57 in second place. Idle Topeka tonight still sits on 63. That'll do it for us here from North Richland Hills. Thank you so much for joining us all weekend long on what was a great back and forth weekend of hockey here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. The Cats will be back at it on Wednesday, 7:05 start time at the KYC. Reminder, all fans can take advantage of 4 for $24 tickets on that night. That is good for any seat in the arena. Hoping to get a good crowd out there for another crucial battle against this Brahmas squad on Wednesday evening. Until then, you can join us for pregame at 6:50 p.m. on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Until then, I'm Ben Horner from all of us at the Wildcats saying thanks for joining us on this edition of Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. Have a good night, everybody, and take care.